think we are going to see something amazing today.
Hi, buddy. Have a little fun today.
Drivers, start your engine!
This is what separates the men from the boys.
Stands are absolutely packed. Go get it.
You're all clear, buddy. Just cut it. Come on up. Hit your marks.
Mark it.
Fox Sports welcomes you to the Arizona desert, just south of Phoenix. Phoenix Raceway, site of today's Ruoff Mortgage 500 for the NASCAR Cup Series. Lots of storylines, 3 races, 3 different varied winners. Austin Cindric for Team Penske and Ford. Kyle Larson for Team Hendrick and Chevrolet, along with Alex Bowman in Las Vegas. Hendrick trying to complete the sweep of the West Coast swing, while a lot of drivers, including our entire front row, looking to get their seasons on track. Hi, everybody. Welcome high above Phoenix Raceway. We're set to bring this event to you. How, Danica Patrick, do you get this done?
I think from a driver perspective, I think it's about not making mistakes. And then I think from a team perspective, it's about making the right change at the right time. It's so hard to get the car right here, and your problem just keeps getting worse. So, and, you know, talking to Joey Logano yesterday, he said that you can go from, you know, 20th to 5th with a good change. And I think that that's something that we have to take into consideration today. This is a tough track.
Going to take more than one good change, and now heavy cloud cover. We had sun yesterday, Clint.
She actually led me right into what I wanted to say about this place. Everything's amplified. If you're too loose, you're going to be really loose. If you're too tight, obviously you're going to be too tight. The track, the grip level in the track, it's extremely hard to get a hold of. To get that balance, a good blend of aero balance, mechanical balance, and then those decisions on pit road, and that driver holding that pretty wheel, man, it takes it all. You got to be perfect at this track.
And this race is going to go by really fast. Toyota has not won in the last 8 races. Best Toyota finish this year is 15th. Denny Hamlin is the fastest qualified Toyota today. He will start from the outside of the front row.
All right, guys, let's dial him up. Hey, Denny Hamlin, it's Boyer, Danica, Mike Joy up in the Fox Sports booth. You got us?
I got you.
All right, buddy, man. Rough road getting here. Been beat up a little bit. Not used to seeing you back in the points like this, but back as business as usual. This 11 car on the front row of this race today. Can you get it turned around right here in Phoenix?
Yeah, we hope so. It's been a good track for us. Well, you know, all the tracks are good for us, but small sample size so far this year, and you know, hit me up in about 5 weeks. We'll see where we're at.
I hear you. I figured you'd say that. But honestly, teammate almost won that race last weekend. You guys are starting on the front row. Things are looking good for the Gibbs boys. Keep it up and good luck, man.
Step forward. Thank you.
Denny Hamlin outside of the front row, a 2-time Phoenix winner. Here is your starting lineup with Ryan Blaney on pole for Team Penske and a Mustang. He gets his 3rd Phoenix pole. William Byron, top 10 in 3 of the last 4 here, fast in practice. Christopher Bell, last week's pole sitter. That's row 2. Fords fill row 3. Eric Almirola, the only driver with 3 top 10s this year. And Chase Briscoe, who's shown lots of speed this early season. Kyle Larson, top 10 in his last 6 here, including last November's win that gave him that championship. And Austin Cindric, the Daytona 500 winner, a rookie. Alex Bowman, the home track for Bowman, who won last week, but he's kind of struggled here. See how he does. And Joey Logano will start 10th, 2-time Phoenix winner in a Ford. Kyle Busch, Tyler Reddick in row 6, as you'll see them crawl across the bottom of our screen. Well, let's get late breaking stories, beginning with our crew chief, Larry McReynolds.
Well, Mike, y'all were speaking about having a good handling car. No question, that's a big key to getting the victory lane. But Danica Patrick said it, no mistakes. This track is notorious for busting drivers for speeding on pit road. 1 year ago, Martin Truex Jr. won the race, but 2 of his closest competitors, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, couldn't recover from pit road speeding penalties. You have to be mistake-free, Jamie Little.
Well, Larry, for the third time in Alex Bowman's career, he comes to Phoenix off of a win. But this time, it's different. Instead of a big party afterwards, a week-long celebration coming here, it was business as usual. Alex Bowman went straight home. He wanted to focus on the task at hand, winning right here at his home track. It has been a struggle. He hasn't led a single lap or finished in the top 10 since 2016. He's hoping that new determination and focus is the change he needs. Regan Smith.
Well, Jamie, if you want to look for that Hendrick win party to continue, look no further than William Byron. Very fast in practice yesterday, qualified third, but the key to their practice was the long run that they made. The team told me, and Rudy Fugo, his crew chief, told me, that long run should set them ahead of everybody else as this race plays out. One adjustment ahead might be all that it takes to get that win today.
Ready to race in the Arizona desert on a somewhat overcast day now. We've got two onboard visor cams for you today. There's the Root Insurance cam for number 23, Bubba Wallace. And there's a lot of Daniel's amigos here. They had a big pre-race get-together. The Coca-Cola Zero cam for Suarez, including our Fox visor cam. Christopher Bell in the number 20 Toyota, starting fourth. Kurt Busch, the Monster Energy cam, including that below the front bumper view. Kurt with the tinted shield, ready to go to work here. And Kevin Harvick, starting 16th. Hunt Brothers Pizza cam for Harvick, who has a chance to tie one of NASCAR's unique all-time records. We'll tell you about that a little later.
Really have my eye on Kevin Harvick. His best track, you said, 9-time winner of this race out here in Phoenix. I want to see him get up through this field. I think he wants to see it. He needs to see it. They need to get this season turned around.
Here's Harrison Burton with our Ford camera on board his number 21 Wood Brothers car. 74 degrees. Well, it was sunny when we made this graphic, but the clouds have rolled in and filled about 80% of the sky right now.
I can promise you it's pretty warm up there. On top of Rattlesnake Hill, I was sweating. I was glad I didn't put that blazer on.
Beautiful day, though. I mean, it's just awesome watching that Rattlesnake Hill, being up there, seeing the fans trickle into this place, taking in such a beautiful racetrack and good setting, watching these guys do work. I'm excited, and I'm excited for them to see what's fixing to happen here today.
312 laps. The stages 60, 125, and 127 long. Kyle Larson to the rear. They changed the power steering pump. Ricky Stenhouse changed an engine, and Harrison Burton changed an ignition switch. They will start out back as here they come to green.
Kyle Busch is showing the way down on the bottom. I guess it didn't bottom out.
Well, he's still on the bottom. Kyle, the racetrack's up here. Holy cow, he is down on the bottom, way down on the apron. And honestly, I was looking forward to seeing if somebody could do that. The diffuser talk and everything, put that out the window. He went down there right off the bat. I'm excited to see.
At the beginning of the race, it's also clean. They've blown it all off. There's no dust. There's no marbles.
Here he goes again. He picked up 3 positions on the first lap.
And it's
cutting the dog leg here down what is now the front straightaway.
Again, I want to go back to that. You know, coming into this race, there was so much concern. Can they do that? With these cars being as low as they are, that diffuser that's so important, you hear these crew members talking about. Man, it didn't seem to bother him. Chase Elliott in the 9 went with him as well.
I was pretty sure somebody would try it before the competition caution on lap 25. But I thought it would be late in this run when somebody could then quickly come into the pits and fix any damage to the diffuser. Third place here.
Now, this is a good battle. I'd like to see it. 24 William Byron was really fast in practice. My eyes are on him for a favorite today.
Christopher Bell not giving an inch. They're still running below the resin that was put down before this weekend to aid traction in the upper grooves.
And it's such a neat thing, and what it gave to this race and the environment within the race. You can see him already out there, maybe just tiptoeing into it. 2 tires. Chase Briscoe behind him with a 14 with all 4 tires in it. Got to kind of clean that up, and move it up like a cushion on a dirt track. Just move it up higher and higher and higher, chasing that grip.
Kyle Busch has gained 5 spots since the start of this race by cutting the dog leg and using the track apron the short way across after the start-finish line here. Here's another look at it and the initial start of the race. Now there is no out of bounds here. The track is defined by the barriers on the inside and out, and that's it. The racing surface 50 feet wide, but that big wide apron in the dogleg is another 110 feet, and you can really shorten up a 1 mile lap here.
So what you're saying, the racing surface is 160 feet right there. That's what you're saying.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I like that he did that right off the bat, and look no further than a Kyle Busch. Somebody like that, the aggression, the experience in him, being able to pull that off and go for it right off the bat.
Like we've talked about, this is a track that's hard to pass. You tend to pass one car at a time. You don't get those big runs. And so, of course, the start and the restarts are going to be the best time to get spots. And at the very start, you get jammed up. You know what it's like, Clint. You get out there, you get behind people, you have to lift, you have to breathe it in the dog leg. And if you're on the bottom flat out, you've got an upper hand on other cars that are jammed up.
William Byron makes the pass on Christopher Bell for third. And now to the inside comes Chase Briscoe, and now you see drivers working their way up into that area that has been treated with the resin for additional grip up high.
Now the cycle begins. All right, I can get under him. It's a shorter way around. I can dive down there to the bottom of the track, but I can't complete the pass. Then eventually you get frustrated. As you see Chase Briscoe right there sliding up, start to try to pull off a slide job, get up in front of them, and that cycle starts happening where outside, inside, outside, inside.
Usually one of the cars is having to push it a little more than the other one. And so if you can just hold them off for a little while, then they'll wear their stuff out, and they'll usually drop back a little bit. They might reemerge, but might not.
Alex Bowman having a look at Joey Logano. This is 8th place. So Bowman 2 spots behind where he started. Logano has picked up 2.
It's so many things happening early in a race. Obviously, you have to have, them elbows up and protect. You don't want to lose spots, but you want to run as low as you can on air pressure, probably a little bit free, and you got to hold on to that thing for a few laps till them pressures come up, because I want to be good on a long run. If I'm really happy taking off, I'm worried because I'm probably going to be way too tight on a long run.
Now, drivers that had to come from the back: Harrison Burton up 7, Ricky Stenhouse up 6, and the 5 of Kyle Larson up 8, going for 9 positions since the start of the race. Larson slots in ahead of A.J. Allmendinger, up to 26th. Ryan Blaney has led all 10 green flag laps so far in Phoenix.
Race fans, Jesse Punch here live once again from Phoenix Raceway. If you missed my pre-race report, you may be wondering why the 5 of Kyle Larson is starting towards the rear of the field. That's due to an unapproved adjustment following a steering wheel issue in qualifying. The team chose to sacrifice track position to fix that issue. No problem for Larson's confidence though, as he has already broken into the top 25 today. But keep an eye on that number 5 team. They are stellar here at Phoenix. They are the defending race winners here and are very confident in their ability to make their way up to the front.
Logano won here in the spring of 2020, the most recent Ford victory.
I think today could be their day. You know, Blaney obviously dominating this race, but moreover, 5 of the top 10 actually were all Fords from yesterday's qualifying session and have some speed out here. Always been a good track for Ford.
Mike, is the Polish victory lap a backwards lap?
Yeah, Alan wanted to do something that the fans would remember him for, so it was well planned in advance. Only people who didn't know were NASCAR, and it was a lap around the track the wrong way, so the driver's side was facing the grandstand and he could wave to and salute the fans and thank them.
That tradition stayed strong.
You bet. Jamie?
Well, Christopher Bell, as we're riding on board here, has slipped back a few positions. They unloaded off the truck, and he told me practice was not ideal, definitely not where they wanted to be, so he was surprised when he went out and qualified 4th. Right now, though, reporting that he's a little bit free. He's looking forward to this lap 25 pit stop.
Yeah, he's just dropped to 8th place, Jamie, from 4th. 2nd place, William Byron, thought he might use B.J. McLeod as a pick. That did not happen. Denny Hamlin holds on to the spot. Little bit of contact between teammates at 10th place. Harvick, Almirola.
Oh.
Okay.
Kevin Harvick is up 6 positions. Almirola has dropped 5 from the start.
Yeah,
as they sandwich the 2 of Austin Cindric.
Honestly, I couldn't tell if he got loose underneath of him or not.
That was on the straightaway, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, maybe frustration. I don't know. That's
well,
a product of that. You know, this resin being on the top of the racetrack. You could see they split Austin Cindric, blew both sides of his doors
But
off.
you always have to go back, right, Clint? That's the story. Is you usually have to go back further than what the actual contact incident is, because there can be more information.
Alex Bowman now looking back at Christopher Bell. Bowman up to 8th here. Remember, competition caution at lap 25.
Here we are, a couple laps away from it, and you know the question is have they started shifting out there? And we're hearing that Kyle Larson started shifting, and I'm sure that they want to get a feel for that and see how that goes. Is it going to be too loose? Where can they do it? Does it change the handling of the car? Because they've got this caution coming where they could fix things.
Well, I think there's so many things, so many layers that play into that conversation. Obviously, the pace first and foremost. You slow down with this new gearbox, the transaxle and a 5th gear option. Those gears are closer together with 5 of them than they were with 4. So being able to downshift is certainly something that's an option. And I really look for it to help as passing. If that guy's momentuming around the outside and the resin, and you need to run the bottom, I got to get slowed down to make that bottom hook that yellow line. And I look for a downshift to be able to do that.
What are you going to do when there's 6 gears, Clint? 6 gears.
Maybe downshift twice.
Something we've not seen this season in the first 25 laps. Lapping has begun. B.J. McLeod and Garrett Smithley each going a lap down as we're 2 laps to the competition yellow. Now Cody Ware is going to fall to Ryan Blaney, who has led every lap so far.
I think that highlights what you were saying earlier, Clint, about how hard this track is, and if your car isn't perfect, it's obvious you're going to get really tight or really loose, and there's no way to make it up. You're just going to get lapped.
Certainly exactly what I was talking about. So difficult to find that perfect balance on this racetrack, and oftentimes you just flat don't have it in your cards for that day. You have to have your setup, your equipment. Certain organizations, maybe even a manufacturer, is better, beating everybody to the punch in that conversation, but so tricky to find here at this track.
And there's the competition yellow at lap 25. Ryan Blaney has led every lap. Denny Hamlin 2nd, William Byron 3rd, right where they started. Chase Briscoe up 2 spots to 4th. Kyle Busch up 4 spots to 5th in the early going. Drivers that have dropped include Christopher Bell -7 spots, Eric Almirola -8, and Austin Cindric -11 since the start of the race. So Larry, 25 laps in, what does this do to your strategy for stage one, which is only 60 laps?
Yeah, and we're going to go back racing, Mike, with just under 30 to go once we take the restart. I would say seeing about a second fall off, you're going to see everybody come to pit road, 4 fresh tires, top it off with fuel, but more than anything, getting some of those adjustments they need.
Thanks, Larry. Now, at home, you still have a chance to win $10,000 of Clint's cash. Play Fox Bet Super 6. Scan the QR code now, download the Super 6 app, and enter your picks about today's race for a free chance at your share of the jackpot.
Had a lot of new friends last week winning all that money. I tell you, it's so much fun to interact with the fans, the questions and things that we have. I think we have some good ones here this weekend, and I think this competition's kind of shaking that up, Danica. $10,000. It's a free app.
Like I said before, you're a people lover. All these new friends. Why not? Win some free money.
Cody Ware will get the free pass. That will leave Garrett Smithley and BJ McLeod as 1 lap down. This is a long and looping pit road, curved around turn number 1, and those pie-shaped segments give some of these drivers trouble. Last year, 11 speeding penalties in this race, 6 speeding penalties in the fall race.
A lot of variables to this pit road.
Jamie?
Joey Logano in the 22 told me the most important thing here is to keep that car turning through the corners, and good news for him, it's turning well. He's just a little free in and off the corner, air pressure adjustment there. And the 48, Alex Bowman, little free off, they'll make an air pressure adjustment, and 4 tires here. Regan.
Well, the 24 of William Byron, a good start to the race for that race team. The car just a little bit too tight in turns 3. And then the 11 car, Denny Hamlin, his race car will not turn the center at all. He needs an adjustment to help that out. Your leader, Ryan Blaney, and then the 12 car, little tight in the center, both sides. Very descriptive from Ryan about his race car. As you see, they take 4.
Blaney. Kyle Busch is stalled out. Still stalled. Got it fired up there. Lost a lot of spots.
Oh, get Kyle Busch fired up.
And that will be costly as Ryan Blaney leads everybody off pit road.
Race fans, Jesse Punch here live once again with an update from Phoenix Raceway. You might not realize that the all-time winner at this racetrack is in the field here today. That's the number 4 of Kevin Harvick. He has 9 wins in his career here in the Cup Series at Phoenix. However, more impressive than that, he has 17 straight top 10 finishes at this racetrack. If he can get another one today, that would make 18, tying the record of most top 10 finishes at a track with 2 Hall of Fame drivers, Dale Earnhardt Sr. and Richard Petty. Great company, to say the least. And an interesting little fun fact about that, the last time that Kevin Harvick finished outside of the top 10 here at Phoenix, it was 2013. His teammate Cole Custer was a 15-year-old in the K&N Series. Keep an eye on that 4 car. They were running 9th ahead of this stage break.
NASCAR on Fox is sponsored by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Is it the best Coke ever? And by Toyota. Let's go places. Well, we came to the caution flag with Blaney leading Denny Hamlin. Now they're on pit road, and in segment 2, the second segment and one of the shortest segments on pit road, both the 12 and the 11 were caught speeding. So was Michael McDowell and Ricky Stenhouse. Let's hear from Blaney and Hamlin.
All right, you and the 12, too fast, section 2. No, I just put it on this bumper. I didn't vary from that. Sorry.
Ooh.
My God. I'm sorry, guys. All good. Long way to make it up. Reset.
We're back under green. Joey Logano, the only driver who took 2 tires on that stop, is your leader.
Man, I heard a bad thing right there. That's an assumption. Assumption's the mother of all mistakes. He put it on the bumper of the 12 and assumed that he was doing right. 12 was speeding, 11 followed suit. Always watch them lights on the dash.
Pretty smart, Clint.
No, I'm not.
So Logano with 2 tires trying to hold off Chase Briscoe, William Byron, and Tyler Reddick.
That 5 car down low. All the way low. I think Jamie was spotting earlier that he ran low below the yellow line in 1 and 2 for maybe the first 10 laps of the race. So I'm sure he's going to be trying that again.
He's back at 11th as Byron trying to make something happen up front. Briscoe, the new leader. Fourth place, Chase Elliott outside of Tyler Reddick. And they get single file. Now all the way back through about 15th or so. Here Byron again trying on the outside. This time for second. Nothing there.
Keep working there. You'll get him, man.
And it's so hard. I want to go back to the mistake of the 12 and the 11. Man, you adjusted your car. You just told your crew chief the adjustments according to clean air out front, how that car is handling. Now, I need a different set of adjustments. I'm mired back here in traffic. I'm probably tight. Probably shouldn't have told you maybe to tighten this car up. Now it's worse back here. Completely messed up.
Pretty hard to be perfect.
Oh, hard to be not frustrated too. Patience. They'll get back up there. Takes a lot of patience.
Sometimes I think that frustration can do something special, though. I feel like we see that with drivers where, you know, they get knocked down at some point in time. Sometimes it's out of their control. Sometimes it's within it. Usually if it's within it, you want to correct it even more. And they can go fast.
Blaney is +8 from 30th to 22nd. Hamlin +3. He restarted 31st. Third place, Hendrick Camaro teammates. Let's check with Regan on our leader.
Mike, you see Chase Briscoe out front having a very strong run early on in this race. You guys were mentioning earlier about shifting, who would and who would not be shifting. Chase Briscoe, one of those drivers that told me not only did he shift all day Saturday in practice, he planned to shift the entire race, every lap, and testing here in the offseason, he shifted every lap testing as well. So very comfortable using those gears for him.
Takes me back to the Coliseum out there, the Clash race. He shifted pretty much every race there, too. I think we just saw Chase Elliott in the wall a little bit. Maybe it wasn't Chase.
I think that was Austin Dillon.
Austin Dillon, another green car.
That was Dillon.
Sorry.
And that was with the 18 of Kyle Busch.
Looked like that was coming off of turn 2.
Here's a look.
Ooh, got loose. That's pretty heavy contact for not only him, but also Kyle Busch. Kyle was trying to stay off of him, didn't mean to. Austin checked up, had to get off of him. That's part of what we've seen with this new car. When these guys get loose, that thing goes in a hurry. And I think Austin Dillon knew that, had to really come up out of the gas to save his car, and was right in the lap of Kyle Busch.
I think they both looked like they were out of control because Kyle was close enough to actually hit him, and Austin was way up the track. So that's just a matter of pushing it and pushing each other to get by.
And Kyle is now 16th, while Dillon gets away in 12th. Just ahead of Kevin Harvick there.
If there's one guy that knows how to get around Phoenix, it's Kevin Harvick. He's, as I've said before, has a lot of finesse. He's really executes the corner really well, and he's won 9 races here.
So let's talk about the streak on Harvick as you watch his telemetry, and let's get this out of the way. The record, all-time record in NASCAR for consecutive top 10s at one racetrack. Harvick is 1 race away from tying 2 of the all-time greats, Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt, who each had 18 straight top 10s at one racetrack. Harvick has 17 here. He was asked yesterday, what will that mean to you to tie that record? He said, not a thing. I'm not counting. It doesn't matter. Well, he's looking for wins. But after his career is over and he opens the book and sees that stat, it's going to mean something. Today, maybe not so much.
Sometimes it takes a couple decades to get perspective.
Chase Briscoe leading over Joey Logano. We'll go side by side.
Race fans, Jesse Punch here live from Phoenix Raceway with an update from the pits. Running currently in the 8th position, that's the number 1 of Ross Chastain. Ross with a new team this year, Trackhouse Racing, moving to a 2-car operation. He's having a stellar season so far. Last week at Las Vegas, he led a career-high number of laps and contended for the win. Now today, as I mentioned here at Phoenix, he's currently running in the top 10 with a strong start to today's race. So watch that Trackhouse team as a 2-car operation this year. Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez learning to work together as teammates to find success.
As you saw, we're under caution for the 2nd time today for Corey LaJoie. You'll see this off in the distance. Right side of your screen, hard impact with the wall on corner exit. That fractures the wheel. The tire takes off. And I believe that was Cody Ware that center punched what was left of that wheel. Here's a different look.
Yeah, it almost looks square, but it was the center part of the wheel. The hub's still on. You can see right there, brake, rotor, and everything else is on the right front.
The angle and the impact just take it off the wheel.
See way back in the back, hits the wall. Oh, the wheel's on its side.
Yeah,
that's
another
what
car,
it is.
51 ate it.
Yeah, but see, he ate the tire, but the wheel was actually sliding down. You know, it wasn't rolling, so that's why it looked square. It's not what you want to hit. You can see the damage on the front. Cody Ware right there.
Not much damage considering how hard that hit was, and there's the lug nut.
Yep.
The center lock nut, and I'm not sure if that was a factor.
I'm pretty sure, though.
Well,
maybe not sure, but I'm pretty sure.
Garrett Smithley will get the free pass as LaJoie has taken his car to the garage. A couple of takers toward the back. So Clinton, you're saying because that single center lock wheel nut was sitting by itself, it was not damaged in the crash, it just fell off.
It tells me that came off, and you know what follows it? You know what that holds on? The wheel. So if that's laying on the ground, the wheel's following it.
Regan?
Well, Mike, you saw on the screen there the 12 car of Ryan Blaney coming down pit road, had that speeding penalty early. This offered them the opportunity to do something different right here, try and get that track position back. As fast as that race car is, they said, let's go ahead and pit now.
He had climbed to 16th in that roughly 20 lap, less than 20 lap run since the competition caution. Kyle Busch came in with him. Now there's Cody Ware. They've inspected damage on the front of his car, sent him back out. Ross Chastain exiting. Whoa! Harrison Burton coming in.
Race fans, Jesse Punch here live once again from Phoenix Raceway under caution for the 7 of Corey LaJoie. A tire issue there as we saw a loose wheel come off on the racetrack. Not the first time we've seen that this season, and definitely not the first mistake we've seen on pit road just this weekend. Remember, race fans, with as many changes as we made to the car this year, a lot of changes were also made when it came to pit stops. Less men over the wall, changes to the wheel, obviously now having one center lug nut. These pit crews are having to learn an entirely new choreography. That being said, as the season goes on, NASCAR is continuing to work with the teams, and this weekend alone, NASCAR gave the teams a little bit of an opportunity to try a different choreography on pit road. So, pit stops, everything, all of the new changes this year, very much a learning curve, and we're seeing it play out in the race here today.
Before we go green, here's today's race strategy sponsored by Liberty Mutual.
Yeah, Mike, based on the history, if you've run 10 or more laps and the caution comes out, you need 4 fresh tires. But don't be greedy early and use all your sticker tires up. Remember what happened at Las Vegas last week? They only have 9 total sets to run this entire race, Mike. That's your Liberty Mutual race strategy.
Thanks, Larry. Chase Briscoe, William Byron will be on the front row for the restart ahead of Logano and Elliott. Now, Denny Hamlin is in 19th. He said maybe we should have come there. Hamlin reports his car is very tight in traffic, and that's where he is as we go back to green. Downtown, William Byron leads a bunch of them down to the apron.
Now business is picking up.
Yep.
Big block, 4 wide. That's what we came here to see. And look at Blaney back there. Be careful, 4 wide. Here comes
5.
Chastain, 5 wide on the bottom. Look out. That was really close between Chastain and Blaney.
It's tough to execute too, you know, not knowing how much room you have to exit. You really rely on your spotter a lot to be like 3 wide, 4 wide, 4 wide.
Chastain took 2 tires on that stop in the 1. Second place battle on the left. William Byron's your leader. Chase Briscoe, who led 20 laps at California, most he's ever led in a race. He led 18 here so far.
Getting way up there in 1 and 2. And what I noticed with William Byron, the leader, is that he looked like he was taking that fast qualifying line in 1 and 2. He gets down to the bottom, lets it drift up, have its head, get on the throttle, have lots of room for exit, pull away.
7th, Christopher Bell looking back, and here comes Larson, who does not go to the apron this time, side by side with Joey Logano. Larson's the red and white car. Now pulls even with Bell, who gets a better jump off turn 2. Now just in front of this group, the hometown hero, Tucson's Alex Bowman. Jamie?
Well, I talked to Alex about how much they've struggled here, and he said, I've had to take a brand new approach this time. I've been watching onboards of my teammates. They are all so good here, much better than me. I'm adapting to their driving style. It's the anti-me, and it was a struggle for him yesterday, but it's paying off right now. So Danica and Clint, have you guys ever tried to adjust or adapt to a teammate's style, and how uncomfortable is that?
Oh, you can never be your teammate is the problem. A lot of times, especially in IndyCar, you'd even have drivers swapping cars. Like, you know, Tony Kanaan's jumping in my car at Indianapolis to go, okay, let me show you how fast it can go. But the thing is that you can never be that other driver. So you can use them for inspiration and to re-baseline, but you still have to make the car your own.
Yeah, but along those lines, I think fast cars go fast. And with these organizations, and they're willing to work together, especially when you look at a camp like Hendrick Motorsports, where all of them have won races, that tells me your setups are probably pretty close to the same. So if you're going to keep it down that road, you better learn how to drive like them.
Chase Briscoe in 2nd, Chase Elliott 3rd. They've got a good gap back to Tyler Reddick, and it's one more at the line to the end of stage 1. Blaney again is a rocket ship. He restarted 24th. He's up to 13th. Not going to get any stage points, but it's going to be well positioned for stage 2 here.
Well, and if you're going to gauge and judge those two cars that had to go to the back, Blaney being able to charge up through there like you said, and Hamlin, I've been watching him. He can't go anywhere. Stuck back there 3 wide in a dogfight.
All 4 Hendrick cars in the top 7 as we get the green and white checkered flag to end stage 1. William Byron gets his 9th career stage win, his first of the season, and his first at Phoenix. Willie B from Charlotte, North Carolina is your stage 1 winner. The USFL is coming starting April 16th with a historic inaugural game. The New Jersey Generals take on the Birmingham Stallions in primetime on both Fox and NBC. That is Glendale, Arizona, home to Michael McDowell, and that stadium is where the next Super Bowl will be played and be seen right here on Fox.
You bet your bottom dollar I'll be here watching my Chiefs play. I'm ready for it.
I thought maybe you'd be there calling the game.
I just called what I'm going to see.
Jamie.
Christopher Bell making his way down pit road, has 2 new over-the-wall members. This will be their second pit stop together. First one was great. Timing was on point. A 4-tire stop here. They're going to tighten him up a bit. Just a little too free in the 48 of Alex Bowman. He was good with those last adjustments. Air pressure really helped the drive on that 48. Regan.
The 14 to Chase Briscoe just needs the back of that race car on the track a little bit too much or more. That means it's too loose. He can't get the grip he wants. The 9 car of Chase Elliott, he's having to be very cautious with the right front of that. He can drive through the right front and not turn the car. And the 24 William Byron just a little bit tight initially. Better with a cycle of the tires, though.
There's the Ram race off pit road. Chase Elliott +2. William Byron drops 3. Kevin Harvick up 3. Christopher Bell's stop here. The jack is down, but the
wheel wasn't on.
Not tight.
Better to catch that then.
Style up to 24, stage 1 winner. Hey, Willie B, it's Boyer up in the booth. You got me, buddy?
Yeah, man, I got you.
Stage 1 winner. How about you, man? You were my pick, the fastest car. I thought you were in Saturday's practice. I liked your long run speed. Tell me what you have for a race car.
Yeah, I think so far so good. It's kind of working on short run, long run balance. I kind of feel like the short run, we working on that, trying to improve that a little bit. But a stage win was a good sign, so go after more hopefully here soon.
I hear you, buddy. Good luck, man.
Thanks, Glenn.
William Byron has led 13 laps so far and is our stage 1 winner for Hendrick Motorsports. 67 laps complete in Phoenix. Let's take a closer look at the setups today with the Ford Performance Cutaway car.
Yeah, Mike, we've been hearing about these drivers shifting, so let's go and we'll show you this 5-speed sequential shifter. It no longer has a 4-speed transmission in it. Now, the shift lever is still located to the right of the driver on the drive shaft tunnel. You see it in first. Now, all he does is just keep clicking it back, second, third, fourth, fifth. You see the rod that goes through the firewall, and there's a little joint right there, and it hooks on top of the gearbox. Now, downshifting, you just go back forward with it. You just keep clicking it forward. That's one reason it's a little easier to shift with the sequential shifter.
Thanks, Larry.
That was always something really tough with shifting in this H pattern that I noticed, is going from sequential to then paddle in an Indy car, is that you'd be going around a right-hand corner and you'd be shifting to third.
BJ McLeod got the free pass, so we are set to restart. 4 cars that stopped at lap 49 did not come in at the stage break, so they're up front. Blaney, Kyle Busch, Custer, and Burton will lead them to the Geico restart zone, which is right in the middle of turn 4.
Well, he's back to the point, but he's on old tires. See how he does on them.
Everybody's a taker for under the line.
Briscoe and Byron and Larson lowest on the track.
You know, as the race keeps going and you get more changes and you get the car a little closer, you get a little braver, you know the track, you're comfortable, and then all of a sudden it's 2 wide, it's 3 wide, it's 4 wide, and you know, you get exciting starts like we just had.
Tyler Reddick to the bottom as Blaney holds on. Along with Kyle Busch, they maintain first and second on those older tires. But here they come for second place.
It's so important right there on the first lap, if you're Ryan Blaney, to fend those guys off. You have to come off of turn 2 still in that lead. If not, you're just like you said, stuck in a 3 wide, a 4 wide pack. You get mired back to 10th, 12th. Now you're on a deficit on tires. You're in big trouble. Him holding on to that lead goes a long ways to keeping this car up front.
You know, I wonder if they're noticing the 22 took 2 tires early and it looked like it worked, and so, you know, the message up and down pit lane might be that it's not so critical to have 4 tires.
I guess that would depend if you're expecting a short run or a long run here to start stage 2.
Good point.
But I think if you're Blaney, right, you didn't really have those cards to play. You play the cards that you're dealt, and they didn't deal themselves very good by speeding on pit road. They're digging out of that hole, putting themselves in position, getting that clean air track position back. You know those guys are going to be coming on new tires, but nonetheless, let's make the most of this clean air and get out front, get gone as far as possible. Long run, if it happens, we might be in trouble, but I still like the play.
Austin Cindric inside of Martin Truex, 13th here. Now, during that last pit stop, we showed you the issue with Christopher Bell. Here's Jamie with an update.
Well, Mike, I had mentioned that they made a couple of changes since last weekend, and the front changer, Dwayne Ogles, and the jackman, David Odell, they had a hiccup on that stop on the right side. Dwayne had forgotten to reverse the gun. It's different this year, but keep in mind, these are veteran guys. They've been on other Cup teams. They just shuffled up the pit crew members. You see the trouble right there. Jackman had to go up twice on the right side, and that shuffled Bell back to restart 20. And just some nerves for this team working together for the first time.
And you could see as soon as he pulled that trigger, he knew it. He reached up and hit it, go back the other way, reverse it. Man, quick mistake, little mistake, but it's such a costly mistake.
5th place heating up here. Tyler Reddick just ahead of Kevin Harvick. And there's Ross Chastain to the outside. You know, that problem is probably complicated by the way the center lock wheel nut is threaded. It's threaded right-handed threads on one side, left-handed on the other side, so that when the car's rolling forward, it's always tightening, putting tightening pressure on all 4 lugs.
You know, I got to say, I'm watching Kevin Harvick here. I was watching his lap times, and he was looking pretty good lap times deeper in the field. And now I'm watching him. He's on Reddick and Byron, and now battling it out definitely slows you down, but he's right on him. Obviously, air is no big deal, and I think his car is handling good. I don't know. I think he's one to watch. I think he's going to make up a few spots. Jamie?
And Danica, you're on it. I talked to Kevin just before he got in the car today, and he said this has been the most straightforward race for them. Just normal. The car's good. He's been able to push it, trying to get in that comfort zone that he has around Phoenix. Now remember, on that first stop, he stalled it exiting the box. He just came on the radio. He said, sorry, guys, that was my mistake. I shouldn't have got us back in the mess. But now he's making up for it as he's about to enter the top 5.
Just trying to go where they're not. That's the hardest part.
Battle for second, right of your screen. Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch. And remember, Chase Elliott has 15 lap newer tires than that Toyota does.
Whoa, slipped up a little bit. I think Kyle Busch saw that one. He didn't obviously learn a little bit of lesson with the 3 car getting loose in front of him, kind of in his lap. That 9 did the same thing. Kyle checked for him a little bit. No harm, no foul.
Fourth side by side. You saw it from Harvick's onboard as Chase Briscoe keeps moving forward. Now he and William Byron side by side again. Will Harvick shoot the middle? No, closes up on him.
I got a feeling Kevin's going to get a little frustrated. He's one of those guys that can be fair to some extent, but if you're in the way too long, he'll move you.
And that's exactly what happens here. I mean, basically, essentially, you got a 2-groove racetrack right now, and you can see those 2 grooves. Willie B down on the 24 on the bottom, his teammate Chase Briscoe on the 14 on the top. Where do you go? You go through the middle. It's kind of no man's land. The track's slick, dirty, not a lot of grip, but you've got to, again, you got to go where they're not.
Now they're about to have company because here comes Kyle Larson underneath Tyler Reddick, trying to catch this group.
There you see Kevin finally getting the low line. A different line for him in 1 and 2. I wonder if that will work out in the end.
Ryan Blaney well out front, 2.5 seconds up on Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, William Byron, and Chase Briscoe. NASCAR on Fox is sponsored by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. 87 laps complete in Phoenix. Ryan Blaney has maintained his 2.5-second lead on Chase Elliott, as when we went to break. Ford, Chevy, William Byron third. Kevin Harvick up for fourth. He restarted 10th. Tyler Reddick fifth. Kyle Busch has fallen to sixth on those old tires. The other two drivers that gambled and not stopping at the end of stage one, Cole Custer back in 11th. Harrison Burton back in 20th.
I'm telling you, Kevin Harvick's coming. He got by Reddick. He got by Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch looks like he's starting to struggle. I wonder what he's saying on the radio. And he's right on William Byron.
It's a great point.
Fourth
Fastest
place.
man on the planet. Laying some laps down. Gained 6 spots since the restart. This is the Kevin Harvick that we hoped and probably thought we were going to see at Phoenix.
There's telemetry on Harvick. Boy, Clint, it sounds like they're out of the throttle for a long time here.
Definitely out of the throttle, but you hear him shifting too. What I was really looking forward to seeing is his brake pressure right there. You see just a little bit of brake and then basically off of it. That tells me he's got his balance of his race car very neutral, rolling that middle of the corner good. Get off that brake as fast as possible.
Ryan Blaney's lead has dropped about 1/4 of a second in the last lap or two. Regan?
Yeah, Mike, and a few laps ago, Ryan, who's way out front, came on the radio, said he's got a little bit of a vibration in the steering. Not too sure where it's coming from yet. Something to keep an eye on with that 12 car, though.
That's always comforting as a driver. I actually took my family around in a 2-seater ride a couple of years ago, and I said, oh, there's a little bit of a vibration in the car. And they got in, and they felt that for themselves and thought, oh, man, now if a driver says they've got a vibration, I know what that means. I thought it was going to, like, we were going to lose wheels. That's one of those things that the crew, basically, crew chief's just telling you, let me know if it gets worse. Another thing that sounds so fun as a driver. You're like, okay.
You can see that resin getting pushed up more and more and more. The other thing I see right there is Harvick running the resin off of turn 2 a lot more than William Byron is. Now he's going down the bottom of the racetrack. You'll hear a downshift. I think he got loose actually getting into the corner there and slid out from underneath of him. You can see he lost some speed. He wasn't able to get back to the gas as quick as he wanted to. But see the difference how he rides the higher line longer around the corner?
Your car's really got to be turning to be able to do that. Otherwise, the front sails on you.
And not only turning on the throttle, which is so hard to get a car to do.
Ford's got smoke in his cockpit, so just keep an eye on him.
That was Rodney Childers telling Kevin that the 24's got smoke in his cockpit in front of him. What's that smoke from? Is that electrical smoke? Is it tire smoke? I would be concerned if it was the tire smoke.
Smoke in his cockpit. I'm keeping an eye on it. They're all around. Slow ones, 2 up on the bottom.
You heard how quick that downshift was, guys. That's something that's an aid, right? You get in there, it helps slow the car down, but if your timing's not right and you're not careful on that downshift, it can break those rear tires loose, get you loose and in the wall. So one thing that you're seeing is, you'll see it right here. Watch him. There it is. You hear him downshifting. Helps him slow down, not using as much brake, but see how loose it is on the throttle right there coming off the bottom, not in that traction, the resin grip on the outside. But don't see them shifting down in 1 and 2. This is something that I was curious. Will lap time slow down enough in this race that they reach over and grab them a gear?
Well, they've got that high line in 1 and 2. It's such a wider line, they can probably carry more momentum.
Watching Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson 6th and 7th. The lead is closing up. Ryan Blaney's lead over Chase Elliott is now down to 1.3 seconds, and that's half what it was 10 laps ago. Remember, Blaney was last in the pits for tires at lap 49. Elliott 15 laps later. Closing in on 100 laps complete.
fans, Jesse Punch here live once again from Phoenix Raceway. That 12 car of Ryan Blaney still up front, having started on the pole and led the majority of today's laps. Ryan, third pole position here at Phoenix, but still looking for his very first win. In fact, Penske's resume here at Phoenix is not a long one. They only have 3 wins total for that association. The first coming back in 1998 with Rusty Wallace, and the next 2 not coming until 2016 and 2020 with Joey Logano. So if Ryan Blaney could pull it off today, not only would it be a big feat for himself as a 12-car driver, his first win at Phoenix, it would only be win number 4 for Penske overall.
By Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. "103 laps complete in the Ruoff Mortgage 500 at Phoenix. Ryan Blaney, on 15-lap older tires than Chase Elliott, has maintained a 1-second lead.
And that's got every crew chief on pit road looking over their shoulder, hey, raising an eyebrow to this and what they've been able to accomplish with that decision. Can we do that and get by with it towards the end of this race? If push comes to shove, an untimely caution or something, you bet your butt they're going to be trying it. I would.
Hendrick Motorsports trying to sweep the West Coast swing. And right now, they have their cars packed in the top half-dozen spots there, with Elliott in second, Byron in third, and Larson in sixth.
And Kevin Harvick right here is having so much trouble passing William Byron. He was way faster, as you alluded to, Danica. Then he gets to the 24. That 24 is running the outside line, a preferred groove, if you will, and it's forced him to start driving differently, using more brake, you know, not being able to capitalize on the things that got him there. When you get to somebody's bumper and they're running in your line, now you gotta find a new way to get around this place.
He is getting to the tippy top of the field, though, and that does make it harder. I mean, they're all running, you know, they've slowed down about a second, but they're all running very similar times up there. Top 4 cars, mid-28s.
Now, but for Kyle Busch in 7th, the Gibbs Toyotas are all together. They're back in 14th, 15th, and 16th. Martin Truex, last year's winner here, back in 14th spot. Here is Larry with today's Subway right combination.
Yeah, Mike, let's talk about Martin Truex Jr. in shorter tracks. 6 of his last 7 wins came on tracks 1 mile in length or smaller. Last year, won the spring race, finished second in November. He has led over 4,500 laps at tracks 1 mile and under in his Cup Series career. Now, mind you, just inside the top 15, almost reminds me of last year. James Small, major adjustments to that 19-car mid-race. Next thing you know, he went to victory lane, possibly the Subway right combination for today.
You know, that 19 has a real knack for turning it around. I feel like there's a lot of races where he might be a little bit off, and then all of a sudden you see him emerge at some point late in the race, and they tend to figure it out.
Alex Bowman having a top 10 run here against Joey Logano. And here's Ryan Blaney trying to become the 10th driver in a row under age 30 to go to victory lane.
Now this is where I see Ryan, he'll have trouble with these older tires. At that deficit that he's in, if you're in clean air and all that air is on your car, you can optimize your lap times. You start getting in dirty air, catching these lap cars, I think you'll see the 9-car Chase Elliott start to eat him up.
Regan?
Well, Mike, you see that 9-car Chase Elliott. They were very loose with that race car yesterday. Just always one change behind, but Alan Gustafson told me earlier he felt like they got caught up on those changes and this car would be very good. Something else he pointed out as this race plays on, he said if the compound on the top of the racetrack wears out, that will be an advantage to them in that 9-car. Chase loves running the bottom here. Keep an eye on it as this plays out.
He's within 0.6 of a second of the lead. Here's Joey Logano. Let's show you what happened 2 laps ago. What else starts with L besides Logano? How about loose?
Well, we saw him in qualifying yesterday. Downshifted, got back on the throttle. I talked to him afterwards, and he said, you know, it's good until it's not. And, you know, you see that moment there, the same thing happened. It looks like they might still be fighting some loose.
But what I see with these drivers when they get loose, they don't trust this car anymore. You know, they're learning this car. In California, in Vegas, you saw those guys didn't pull out of and abort completely out of the gas, tried to ride it out, if you will, kind of hang on to it. Now you're seeing, just like Austin Dillon did and Logano, they're completely bailing out of the gas and making sure they keep that thing underneath of them because they don't trust this car.
They just don't have the same side forces that they used to with this car. Then when it gets steps out, there's nothing to save them anymore.
Speaking of stepping out, Harrison Burton stepped out exiting turn 2. He got into the wall, and the leader is closing on Burton in the 21.
Oh, he got loose in. Car got out from underneath him.
And the rookie will drop a lap to our leader here.
Just you in the 12. He's still got 5 to the 9.
Looking from Bubba Wallace over at race leader Ryan Blaney, who has now been out front for 77 laps of the 114 we've run so far. With 3 races complete this season, here's who's made it to Ruoff Mortgage Victory Lane so far. Austin Cindric struggling a bit today. Kyle Larson currently running 6th, and Alex Bowman currently running 9th. And we're under caution for Christopher Bell, who is coming off turn number 4, spun down the back straightaway.
Right rear flat.
To it. Leaders middle 1 and 2.
Now the problem is he's got to go a whole lap before he can enter pit road. And Bell makes it to the pit lane. Brad Keselowski will get the free pass here at lap 119.
Pretty good car control, catching that thing. Knowing when to gas it up, when to hit the brake.
And a good job of not doing further damage. Not doing much further damage, getting that car back around with that flailing tire. It is the 4th caution of the day and only the 2nd one for cause. Corey LaJoie lost a wheel at lap 47, hit the outside wall. Pit road's open. Jamie.
Kevin Harvick in the 4 had a really good run there, turned some of the fastest laps we have seen today. Said he just needs a little rear grip on entries, a little bit loose. Air pressure taken out of the right rear was the call. A 4-tire stop for Harvick. Regan.
Well, Chase Elliott in the 9 car feels like he's hurting the right rear of that car just a little bit too much. Too bouncy with that tire. Feels like there's way too much air pressure. Wants an adjustment to help that out. The 24 of William Byron does not like the adjustments they've been doing. That race car will not turn on the front. They want to go back on the last changes. And the 12 of Ryan Blaney came on the radio and said, my tires feel like they were pretty hurt. Tight is the main issue with that race car.
Chase Elliott first off pit road. Gains the 1 spot with 4 fresh tires. Caution flag number 4 for Christopher Bell in the 20.
For the first time since his blood was spilled at Madison Square Garden, the Beast Brock Lesnar will confront his attacker and his WrestleMania opponent Roman Reigns. It's an all-new Friday Night SmackDown, live at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox.
Welcome back to Phoenix. Here's how the Coca-Cola family of drivers are faring. Joey Logano in 9th, Austin Dillon right behind, Denny Hamlin 17th. Daniel Suarez, lots of Daniel's amigos here. He is in 19th place. Everybody on the lead lap with the exception of 27th on back. Burton, Wallace, McDowell, Stenhouse, Castle, Ware, and Bell 1 lap down. McLeod and Smithley 2 laps back. Brad Keselowski got the free pass on that caution. A lot of families in the grandstand. Good to see here at Phoenix. We reviewed additional footage and saw that Christopher Bell did not spin from contact, went around by himself.
Yeah, just getting too much out of the car. I think that takes it back to that dirt track mentality, man. I can hold on to this thing. I can keep it out. And you're seeing just like Logano, he bailed out of the gas big time, kept the car underneath of him.
Well, Ryan Blaney did a great job in that stint on worn tires, up 12 spots from where he'd been at the time of that caution. Kyle Busch up 9 and Cole Custer up 10 spots with that gamble. We may see more of that as the day goes on.
Oh, yeah, we will.
Ready to restart, Elliott and Blaney once again.
That was a great start by Blaney. I mean, that is such a fine line. You can't let the leader, you can't beat the leader to the line, and he was right there. I think that's why you're seeing him just door to door with him.
And Ross the Boss Chastain, number 1. He gains a couple of spots there by going down to the apron. He's led a lot of laps this year. Still looking to lead his first today.
You see him hook that yellow line right there, but you also see the 8 of Tyler Reddick not all the way up, kind of down on his door right there. Very, very vulnerable. Hard to get into the corner. The car's wanting to be loose on this low air getting into the turn 3 anyway, and then that 8 being down on your door makes it that much worse.
There's a little 3 wide for 10th place. And we're side by side with Harvick taking 3rd.
Sure are. I think he just found that outside faster than William Byron did in the 24. Kind of snookered him, if you will.
He ran high in 1 and 2 and got a good enough run off of 2 that he just got to William Byron's right rear. And that's all you got to do. Make sure that he can't get clear of you and get in front of you, and you see you got by him.
Kyle Larson in the picture, then Tyler Reddick, Ross Chastain, and here's 8th place. Chase Briscoe outside Austin Dillon. For the lead.
I like this battle. I think we've established, you know, Ryan Blaney has to be the best car here. One of the, right? He was on
him and Kevin.
Old tires, 15-lap tires, and was able to hold the deal. He was on the point. Can he make this line on the bottom work and get around the 9 in that preferred line? Very hard to do. Or does he have to try to wait for a lap car or something like that and use him as a pick?
I agree, Clint. I think that, I mean, he's really fast. I think Ryan Blaney and Kevin Harvick right now look like the strongest cars, and Kevin Harvick is his next target is Ryan Blaney.
Well, nobody told Chase Elliott that because
exactly
he
right.
has the lead. Now, Denny Hamlin, after that speeding penalty, Regan has been a long road back to the front for Hamlin.
Well, Mike, that's right. It has been a long road, battling a very tight race car since he got back in traffic, but not to pile it on this last pit stop, though. They had an issue getting that car full of fuel, malfunction with the fueling system of it, getting the fuel into it. They're going to be very close if they can make it to the end of this stage if it goes green.
Wow.
This is a good battle. You saw Blaney get loose right there as the wake crossed in front of him to chase Elliott. These are 2 buddies, right? Now look, Elliott moved down, blocked him right there, trying to take his line away. Had him in the mirror, Danica. That's what you want to do, is that guy behind you. If you can get him in the mirror and they start blocking, man, you're licking your chops.
Make him nervous.
Right.
I always say, you know, you go where your eyes go. So when you're out front and you're looking in your mirror the whole time, you're not looking where you're going. You're looking at the car behind you, and that's what you want to do. If you want to get by a car, you want to make them nervous, you want to make them uncomfortable, you want to make them make mistakes, and you want them to look in the wrong direction.
For 5th place, Larson tried the inside without good effect. Now he goes to the outside to try to get around Tyler Reddick, who has also led a ton of laps this season.
I used to pull this move in IndyCar every now and again at short tracks where I'd come out of the corner and I'd get a little bit of a run, but I'd dart out so that in the mirror I'd fill their mirror real quick and it looked like I got a better run on them than I really did.
Yeah,
and they gave me a lane.
Those space shuttles over there, I don't know. That doesn't work over here in this good race, this real racing of NASCAR. How about that? Huh? IndyCar. No, I love it. I'm teasing.
Race fan's a race fan.
Always wanted to drive one of them.
I just wasn't quite fast enough to be able to pull that move as often in a stock car.
I'll tell you what, Kevin Harvick, I'm agreeing with you. This boy's laying some lap times down. Him and Ryan Blaney are definitely the fastest cars on the sheet right now. Elliott trying to hold pace. Got him in the mirror now. All right, spotter, where's he running? How can I do this? I got to try to find my groove, all the while keep him behind me. I need to hold on to this clean air as much as possible.
Now here's one I wouldn't have expected. Harvick right now is running third. That is his best running position of this season so far. There's your Xfinity fastest lap last time by. Ryan Blaney under 28 seconds. Kevin Harvick second quickest.
You knew he was bound to show that, right? I mean, he had the speed on old tires and he was holding pace with those guys, fending them off. Now he's got fresh tires, evenly matched with the competition. He's going to be hard to handle.
Ninth place. Austin Dillon's had good runs here at this racetrack as he battles Joey Logano.
The other thing that you have to watch and pay attention to is you can see, all right, you heard me talk about it, that preferred line on the outside. That stuff's wearing out. With every lap and everybody running up there, the more and more as we get through this race, it's going to start wearing out. As you heard that crew chief of the 9 and Alan Gustafson talk about, it's so interesting to hear those guys really plan that far ahead and strategize. Man, do I want to tighten this thing up? Because I believe by the end of the race, possibly, potentially, we'll be on the bottom and maybe need a little freer balance on the race car.
I think that's what you're seeing. You see cars swapping positions. I'm watching Chase Elliott and Kevin Harvick, and at first it was Kevin up high and Chase down low, and then it was swapped, and then it was Chase up high and Kevin down low, and it looks like the playing field is evening out there, and there's not necessarily as much a preferred line. And so, like you said, Clint, this is something to plan ahead for.
140 laps complete. Ryan Blaney, the race leader. And our entire Fox family saddened by the loss of Jack Simmons last night, the heartbeat of Fox Sports since the network began its sports coverage in 1994. He was part of 13 Daytona 500s and numerous other major sporting events. Strong ties to the military, lasting support of the troops. Jack Simmons, deeply missed today.
Raceway once again giving you an update from the pits. Keep an eye on that the Chevrolet of Tyler Reddick, currently running 6th, looking to break his way into the top 5. Reddick, embracing just his 3rd full-time season in the Cup Series, already has 3 runner-up finishes in his Cup career. There is no one in that field that is anticipating their first win more than Tyler Reddick. That H Chevrolet, as I mentioned, currently running 6th. Tyler's best finish here at Phoenix, 19th. So he's hoping for a career best run here today.
.145 laps complete. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. With you for every mile on the road to greatness. Goodyear, more driven. Ryan Blaney leading Chase Elliott by a 1.5 seconds. Kevin Harvick another 0.6 back. William Byron another full second back. No Toyotas in the top 10. Truex is 11th. The leader of that group for Joe Gibbs and 2311 Racing. Toyota all but had a 1-2 finish last week. They were 2 laps away from Kyle Busch going to victory lane when caution reared its ugly head, and that changed everything.
Well, man, it's frustrating, I'm sure, as a team when you're not fast, you're scratching your head. I'm sure everybody in the Toyota camp is putting their heads together.
Kyle Busch was that close to a victory last week. He's currently 12th, 10 seconds back of the lead. Bubba Wallace has gone a lap down. He's the first car 1 lap down. He's in the lucky dog position. Jamie?
Kevin Harvick in the 4, as you talked about, Mike, he's having his best race so far this year. Coming into this weekend, he said, we've been in survival mode for the past month. It's been a cultural change to adjust and adapt to this new race car. But because of the fact they got to test here just in January, they learned so much. It gave him comfort that when he was able to unload yesterday, he felt comfortable. And as you see there, he's back to happy Harvick, and so is the car.
In his happy place. 17 top 10s at Phoenix for Harvick. Now Harvick has led laps under caution this season, but right now 3rd place is his best running position under green since the season began.
And for that team, I know them. Heck, he was my teammate for the better part of my career. I know Rodney and everything. I know that they were looking forward to this race. You know, if you need to get your season started back off on the right foot, looking for a change in pace, they were all chomping at the bit to get here and unload and get this race underway at Phoenix.
Let's check with Regan.
Mike, a couple of laps ago, the 24 team got on the radio, told William Byron that some other teams were shifting sooner than him getting into turn 3 and found some speed doing that. I know we've got Jamie McMurray in the Fox studio right now looking at that same data the teams are looking at. Jamie, can you see that when it's that precise to 1 car length difference?
Well, Regan, it is. You know, there's a lot going on. Obviously, the shifting, the braking that we're seeing all these guys do. William Byron, though, has done an amazing job all race long.
Thanks, Jamie. Byron in 4th, 3.6 seconds off the lead. His Hendrick teammates are all in the top 10, but for Alex Bowman, who is 13th. Only 1 car in the garage as we close in on halfway. That is Corey LaJoie, who lost a wheel back at lap 47 and hit the wall.
You saw those drastically different lines, and I talked about it earlier with Cole Custer in front of Kurt Busch right here, especially off of 2. You know, Cole Custer would dime the corner and really got that shot off the corner, keeping both tires. You know, I always talk about that left rear. I need that left rear to stay down and dig. And a lot of times, oftentimes, when I ran the outside and didn't dime in the corner, it let the car roll over. It got that left rear light, and I would get loose on the throttle and couldn't keep a good lap time. So I had to do what Cole Custer does, while Kevin Harvick always had good speed with what Kurt Busch is doing riding high.
So I know at home you're trying to win Clint's cash. Let's take a look at one of those questions. Which of these 6 winless drivers at Phoenix will have the best finish?
I hope you picked Ryan Blaney. He's looking good so far. But I'd say I picked William Byron. I thought his practice speeds were good. You know, Keselowski is certainly having trouble here today, but that's what I love about those questions. You know, trying to pick those ahead of time and interacting with fans, and it shows you just how good our fans are and how much they pay attention to our sport and who can capitalize and get all my money again.
Well, there is Brad about to go 1 lap down to Ryan Blaney again. Keselowski had gotten the free pass at lap 119, and here we are 38 laps later, and he's going to drop 1 lap.
You know, someone I've been watching is Eric Almirola. I know he's only running 14th right now, but his lap times have been looking steady. He's like really close to the car in front. He looks like he's anxious to get by people, and it's just not that easy, as we've talked about. It's not easy to pass at Phoenix. I'm wondering, with the track changing and being able to use more lines, maybe that'll open up. But Eric looks all right. He's a sleeper to move up.
He's a contender, top 10 in all 3 races this year. Nobody else can say that.
You know, the other thing that we seldom talk about up here, that's such a real thing, especially in between the organizations, is teamwork, right? Strategy with their changes. Are you on a different air pressure than us? Maybe they were. Maybe I'd migrate towards them. All those things are equating every pit stop and that opportunity to make these changes. And what I'm saying by that is, in the top 5, I'm starting to see the old Hendrick boys. There's 3 in the top 5. They're starting to take charge, starting to work together. We got to keep an eye on that.
Ryan Blaney building back up to a 1-second lead over Chase Elliott as we take you Fox side by side. Welcome back to the Ruoff Mortgage 500 on Fox. Ryan Blaney and his Team Penske Mustang out in front of Chase Elliott by 9/10 of a second. This is the 13th race in which Blaney has led over 64 laps, but in the prior 12 occasions did not make it to victory lane. Ross Chastain currently in 7th place. Here's Ross talking about brakes.
Got a good amount of brake shake into one. I can't tell if that's making me loose or if I'm just getting looser on entry. Back feels light, but the wheels visibly shaking in my hand.
A brake shake.
So, all right, hard to diagnose here. Always, you know, the heat, like brakes want to be at a certain optimum temperature, right, to work well and get the most out of them. Here, you want to get these things hot, obviously, under all the braking, getting into turn 3 and turn 1 that you are. But as they cool off, you can't get them too cold. If you out there and you find a groove like we were talking about with Kevin Harvick, where he wasn't using as much brake as the others, if they get too cool, those things will vibrate and shake violently. And I always felt that more coming to pit road. When they cool off, boy, they sure shook hard.
Yeah, Clint, and you think about it, they're kind of spread out right now, so you're getting a lot of clean air into the opening that cools the brakes. And one other thing we were discussing earlier this morning, I'm being told that these aluminum wheels, that they're letting the brakes run a little bit cooler because they also have bigger openings in the wheel itself. So I think there's a lot of things contributing to the brakes running cooler.
Good point.
But it's also a needed thing, you know. I mean, there's no question. To be good on a long run, what do you need? You need to try to keep the temperature out of those front tires so you don't get tight. And the best way to do that is stay off the brakes, building that temperature, building that pressure.
17 laps to go in stage 2. Let's crank it up.
To your lane. More. Got a gap of 8 for second place to 9. Both running the resin. One back. Right 2. Side by himself, all clear. 5 to the 9. Still clear, keep coming. We'll get tight in line. Trying to roll out. You're still good, still good. Six is one down, and you see the 2 lappers to the bottom, right with you in line.
10 laps to go in stage 2. Turn 2 has been a trouble spot for Ryan Blaney. That is where Chase Elliott has been closing fast.
It really has, and it's all in this lap traffic. Blaney seems to be having a little bit more trouble, kind of losing the nose, if you will, in the wake of the lap traffic. And man, it's allowed Chase Elliott to really close in.
Here's 2 laps to go.
Slide job right here on Christopher Bell, and you see him get loose. Look at the right rear chatter. Did you see the tires, Mark? Had that right rear chattering. I'm telling you, that's as close as it gets. Once that starts chattering out from underneath of you in that part of the corner, you are in trouble.
Here's what Blaney had to say.
I'm 9 over here, Tim. 9, 10 over.
Do you want to do shift and get it hotter or take care of it?
Copy, let's take care of it. We want to win the race.
A little bit over on temps. Don't like that. You know, do I need to get in there and get out of the wake of this lap traffic, stuff like that? Yeah, don't, just keep doing what you're doing, kid. You're leading the race. 9 over is not that bad, is it, Larry? I can deal with that.
That's not so bad.
Right.
But the biggest problem with this car is I'm looking, there's nothing on the front end, and there's no tape. My biggest concern, how do you cool it down?
Get out of the wake
Larry,
of that car in front of you. You know, you got to get in clean air, get that thing back breathing fresh air, which is exactly what he did.
Well, no traffic ahead. Now watch Brad Keselowski in this replay, the 6 car, who is 1 lap down, the purple car up front.
Still way up there.
Hearing Eric Almirola may have just brushed the wall.
Woohoo. Yeah. Definitely got in the wall. Not very hard. And again, going back to this car and how strong the bodies are, I don't think he's going to, they won't even feel any effect.
You got 5 to go to the caution. If there's anything wrong, they can. Do they pull it out? Is it so strong they can pull fenders?
You don't
anymore?
have to pull it out. It pops right back out. No harm enough. What you don't want to do, and what we've seen, is get hit hard enough that you actually bend a suspension component. You said 5 to go, and you can see the sense of urgency with the 9 for this battle for the stage win. These are important points. But also right there in that shot, you can see that resin really starting to wear out down there in 1 and 2.
Now they have broken away from Kevin Harvick by 3 seconds, Jamie.
Yeah, Kevin Harvick's car is taking a turn for the worse. He told the team taking the air pressure out of the right rear did not help. I am terribly loose, plowing the middle, so they're going to put the air pressure back in and take a bigger swing at it for this next round. It's heating up out here, guys. The temperature, ambient, and track have gone up quite a bit since the start of this race.
Right changes at the right time.
Rodney Childers, Harvick's crew chief. 6th place is the battle. Reddick and Chastain, 2 drivers who've led a lot of laps this year and attracted a lot of notice, solidly in the top 10. Right now, Joey Logano would earn the last stage points. 6 Chevys and 4 Fords in the top 10 right now.
Now, if I'm Chase Elliott, seeing these 2 lap cars side by side right here, this is my only chance. This is the last chance to get, you know, in a situation to put that 12 in where you can use these lappers as a pick. But I don't see it happening.
Outside corner, clear high.
12 had to wash up and kind of do a slide job, enabling the 9 to stay running his position, but with a 42 being there on exit, loses all your momentum.
Blaney into turn 3. Elliott to the bottom, and they round off turn 4. Blaney gets the stage win by 3 car lengths. 3rd, side by side, Harvick holds off Byron. Ryan Blaney just became the 6th different driver to win a stage this season. Ryan Blaney for Team Penske and Ford Stage 2 winner.
Race fans, Jesse Punch here live once again from Phoenix Raceway. Stage 2 in the books and pit stops are just about to begin. Let me tell you, when drivers are qualifying here at Phoenix, pit road position and pit stall selection is just as on their mind as starting position. And when you look at pit road here at Phoenix, you'll understand why. It begins all the way down at the exit of turn 3, sending drivers around a blind turn behind me and sending them out back onto the racetrack towards the entrance of turn 1. The key in all of that is that blind turn behind me. Drivers do not want to have to pit on that curve, which is why you see many of the faster qualifiers selecting pit stalls 1, 2, 3 up there towards the front, or pit stall number 33 and so on, avoiding that turn at all costs, especially given the number of changes and mistakes that we've seen on pit road already this season. Drivers are definitely trying to avoid that today. So one more stage to go. Pit stops are going to get interesting. Enjoy the race fans.
Welcome back to Phoenix. Stage 2 in the books. Ryan Blaney from Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick, William Byron, and Kyle Larson. Reddick, Chastain, Briscoe, Dillon, Austin Dillon, and Logano got the stage points. Ty Dillon will get the free pass. Sweepers working turns 1 and 2. That's where the marbles go as the tires wear. And pit road will be open this time. That was the longest green flag run of this season. Just now, coming off the caution for Christopher Bell's spin all the way to the end of stage 2. Jamie?
9-time Phoenix winner Kevin Harvick terribly loose, as I talked about, and he just told Rodney Childers, we need to take a swing at it here. We need to help this car get better. They're going to make a right rear jack screw adjustment, take some air pressure out of the right sides, and hope that tightens them up so he can make a move and try to take over the lead for the first time. Regan.
Well, Chase Elliott in the 9 car, pretty good right now. What he loves about that race car is the longevity of it. Very good on the long runs, doesn't want to change that. The 24 of William Byron, he's been quiet on the radio the entire time, not a word from him. And then the 12 car of the leader, Ryan Blaney, pretty loose early with that race car, but the longer the run goes on, he gets too tight.
And the Ram race off pit road is won by Chase Elliott.
Sure was.
Harvick.
Tyler Reddick with a big gain right there. I almost thought he had Kevin Harvick coming off of pit road.
Denny Hamlin had a slow entry into his pit, and they're finishing up on the left sides on Hamlin, but this is a long stop there. Most consecutive top 10s at any racetrack ever. Earnhardt, Petty hold the record. Kevin Harvick could tie that today.
Let's dial him up. Ask him about it. Hey, Kevin Harvick, it's Boyer, Danica, Mike Joy up in the Fox Sports booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
How about you, buddy? Man, I tell you, I know you were looking forward to this racetrack. It's here, and you are too, up front, knocking on the door of a huge record with that. 9 wins here. How's your car, and what do you need to be better so you can win this race?
Yeah, we were a little bit too tight through the center that time and still fell off on the exit. So we just got to control the fall off a little bit on the exits. But good car. Everybody's doing a good job on pit road, and we just keep battling here and see what happens.
All right, buddy. Keep it up. Good luck, man.
Thank you.
Well, it sounded like Happy Harvick to me.
Yes,
now, Chase Elliott was first off pit road. Almost got out of there a little too quickly. Oh, grab that gas can.
Race fans, Jesse Punch here once again with an update from Phoenix Raceway. Pit stops following stage 2 are officially complete, and that 8 of Tyler Reddick is rolling off in the 3rd position to start this final stage. High fives all around here on the 8 pit box following that stop. Perfect stop for this team, and 0 complaints from Tyler on the radio. He had been complaining a few weeks prior about some leg issues given the changes with the brakes in the car, but today here at Phoenix, everything is smooth sailing. So for a driver still looking for his first win, things are looking pretty good for stage 3 for that 8 team.
Get back to Phoenix. A lot of memorable moments at this racetrack. Including this one. Clint Boyer and Jeff Gordon had a meeting, not of the minds, but of the race cars.
Actually wouldn't meet with me. I couldn't find him. I wanted a meeting of the minds. I wanted to maybe do a tap dance on his mind after that. Man, that was a terrible day. Why does everybody get to capitalize on that except for me?
I was on the back straightaway sitting in my car just listening to the crowd roar, and I'm like, I want to see this brawl.
Check this out.
All right, now, the reason we bring all this up is there room enough in a booth this size for Clint Boyer and Jeff Gordon next week? because I'm leaving.
That's right, and I'm ready for it. Bring my man back, 24, Jeff Gordon. Black SS with a navigation. He's coming back.
I just heard that song the other day.
That's because it's hip. And he is too, and I'm looking forward to having him. And Mike, you can see this, right, guys? It's good. You have Danica and Jeff. They're both about the same height. So when Jeff is saying something next week, we can both look and roll our eyes and be on the same page with one another, right over the top of his head.
Next Sunday, only on Fox. Here they are at the Geico Restart Zone. Did Jeff hack your Twitter today? Somebody did.
Somebody did.
Whoa!
Blaney.
6 wide, 7 wide.
Not the restart Kevin Harvick wanted at all. And actually, it was because of the contact off of the rear of his car. It got loose, spun the tires a little bit.
And they're only 4 wide exiting turn 2.
Only.
Somehow it all funnels down to 2 abreast for the lead. Elliott outside Tyler Reddick. And Blaney closing right up on the apron.
Well, here he is, guys. We've been talking about him a lot. Tyler Reddick in this 8 car. Made good work of this restart. Now he's competing for the lead right here at Phoenix.
Made good on that pit stop. Picked up 3 spots. Had a 10-9 pit stop.
Everybody on fresh tires and trying to get the most out of them in these first couple of green flag laps.
It takes me back to Kevin Harvick. I don't know exactly what happened right there, but you heard him talk about it. Ask for the adjustment. A little too tight in the center. I didn't like that taking air out of the right rear. Maybe put it back up, and I'm a little loose, light on my feet.
He ended up saying loose off was the worst, though, in the end. Right
because
off.
you're tight in the middle.
Let's go back and look at the restart. Watch Harvick in the 4. And let's see what happens here.
Spun his tires. Sure did. Just didn't get a good jump, spun the tires, and man, now look at the repercussions. You're 3, 4, 5 wide.
"22 cars on the lead lap. Justin Haley, the first car, 1 lap down. 115 laps to go. And at least 1 pit stop, depending on how cautions fall. Team Trackhouse side by side for the top 10. Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez.
Back to 2 wide, still 18 chopping way off the bottom here.
So that was the first car I actually heard shifting in 1 and 2 as well. Yeah, look at this inside right here. Check this out, Danica. Yep, that's right. Right there, the camera, not only the mirror up top, but the camera. You can see everybody in the rear view with the camera. Has both options. I like that.
What would you pick, Clint?
I'm terrible at cameras. I like the old analog stuff. You know, that old school.
Such a different view, as we've heard. You know, you have to adjust to one or the other. There's such different depths and views, and it's probably a little confusing to go from one to the other. So I'm betting these drivers are using one or the other.
Ross Chastain. It's a great run for him. He's been solid all day long. Keeping pace with William Byron. So, whoa, really close off of turn 2.
This is for 8th place.
A little further up, you've got Ryan Blaney. He's still going strong, guys. He's my pick. He's 3rd, closing in on Reddick. He's been maybe the most consistent all day.
And they are both keeping pace with Chase Elliott from about half a second back. And Martin Truex is your Toyota top performer right now in 11th, trying to break into the top 10 here against Daniel Suarez. Last year's winner here.
As I said earlier, finds a way.
Being on the in car right here, watch him. He was downshifting. I can hear him doing it. See if he. There's his downshift. One of the only ones I've heard doing that. And I want to take it back to our conversation that I talked about. What can Ryan Blaney do to cool his car down? Clean air. You heard Larry and I talking about that. That shifting is a big part of keeping your car cool. Both engine temperatures and your gear temperature, which these guys have a gauge on that gear temp and have to keep control of that. So shifting too much can obviously run both of those temperatures up. That's one of the biggest things they could probably do. I wanted to clean that up from earlier.
11th place here, Joey Logano on the inside, battling Suarez and Bowman.
Man, up front, it's heating up. Ryan Blaney. Looks like Chase Elliott's fallen off just a little bit. I wonder if getting a little bit tight out there. But Ryan Blaney, he's making a move. He's about to pass Tyler Reddick on the inside in 1 and 2. Just about clears him, doesn't.
That's a really hard vantage point, too, because you're waiting on the spotter, waiting on that guy. Give me a clear, get clear up. And that spotter is clear down here in 3 and 4, looking off into the distance at those cars coming at him. Hard vantage point to make that clear.
Now
just use that rear view camera.
Well,
you know, that thing sees everything.
That thing will lie to you, too. I've had that problem.
Look about a second back from Blaney, and Kevin Harvick is coming. Recovered after spinning the tires on the restart. He's now just about 1 second off of Ryan Blaney. And he's going to have a mirror full of Kyle Larson here in a lap or two.
There's Kyle. He's made his way from the very beginning really quickly. Kyle Larson didn't run in the back for too long. He's been in the mix. He just hasn't been in the very front mix. But now we see him. He's in 5th place. A lot of open air.
Chase Elliott looking for his first oval track win since he scored here in Phoenix in 2020. .99 laps to go in Phoenix. Chase Elliott leading Tyler Reddick by half a second. Ryan Blaney another half second back. Time for the Credit One Bank ones to watch.
Guys, I love going first. The first pick gives you the opportunity to take the best car. He won the pole. He was fast in practice. No other than Ryan Blaney in this 12 car. I'm really interested to see if he can get to the 9, much like the 9 did him, and can he complete this pass? I'm saying he can.
So, Clint, Kyle Larson in that 5 car, they had to start this race at the rear of the field, but he's just kind of lurking back there just about inside the top 5. Get a late race restart, you just get him up front like here in November, or maybe Fontana a few weeks ago, Kyle Larson will do the rest.
I'm going with my guy, Kevin Harvick. I've been talking about him a lot. He's running up front. He's going to make a good change on that last stop to be in the right place at the right time. He's going for his 10th win. He's on a 46 win-less streak right now. I'm going with Kevin Harvick.
Well, Danica, all season long, we've heard about Tyler Reddick and the problems that he has had with his legs. Today, we haven't heard one word about that. He is quiet in that race car and happy, running in second place right now. I'm watching Tyler Reddick.
He's having a great race, but it is Hendrick Motorsports looking to sweep the 3 West Coast races, and they have the lead right now with Chase Elliott. Going to keep an eye right there. And those are your Credit One Bank ones to watch. There are, of course, others. Chase Briscoe in 6th, Ross Chastain in 7th. Here's 11th and 12th, Martin Truex, Joey Logano, and Alex Bowman just ahead.
You can definitely tell, that pressure cooker, the intensity's picking up towards the end of this race, trying to get established, trying to get this, track position that everybody's, looking for. The manufacturer talk is starting to pick up. The Chevrolets are starting to show. Fords are there. The Toyotas, those are the ones that I really, haven't seen the most of today. But I'm loving what I see out front with this 3-horse battle, and maybe a 4-horse battle if yours comes true, Larry, with a 5 car. Been watching Kyle Busch the last several laps too while we were doing that segment, and man, he is loose. About every lap down here in 3 and 4 when he tries to run the bottom, just can't keep the rear of that car underneath of him.
Martin Truex in 12th, last year's winner here, is the highest placed Toyota in the race. Chevy's 1, 2, Ford's 3 and 4.
I wonder what Toyota feels like might help them the most. I wonder if is it mechanical? Is it speed?
It was a caution last week. They just needed no caution to come out. It had been in victory lane, wouldn't even been having this conversation.
Micro example. Macro of the season is
trouble
not
back straightaway. Around goes Martin Truex after hard contact.
He's been in the wall to the right side hard.
I got blew a tire.
Thinks he blew a tire.
Get back here,
You can definitely tell he's been hard into the wall with that right front corner of his car. It's not going to get back either.
That's
His day's going to be done.
Not the friendliest place to hit the wall with a blown right front, as I have done that. It's a flat. You got a lot of room to exit. Bam.
Top of your screen, 5th car in line. Whoa.
I don't know. I saw the car look like it got loose.
He kicked
but maybe it was that was a correction from the tire going down. But I don't know. I mean, you heard him on what he said, but it looked like the thing kind of got sideways on him and overcorrected.
It had a moment, but the way that thing darted to the wall that aggressively, I don't know if it was the right front or not, but it.
Well, nobody knows better than him. You heard him say he cut a tire down. But that's the end of his day. That's a huge hit. But you're right, Danica. Some of the hardest hits I've ever seen. You don't think it would come on a track like this, but off of that turn 2 over there, he blew a right front tire. That is not a good angle at all.
So Larry, caution out with 91 laps to go. How does this change your thinking?
Boy, it's interesting, Mike. I mean, everybody will come get 4 fresh tires because they've got 26 laps. But you need to make sure you pack it full of fuel because it's right there on the threshold of being able to make it to the end. But who in the world would ever believe we'll go caution-free the rest of this thing?
Who would want to go caution-free to the end of this thing without getting another set of tires?
But Larry, is that going to take a sales job on your driver if you think it could go caution-free?
Yeah, it's a long way to go, Mike, and I've been seeing, quite a bit of tire fall off. So, you may see some different strategies if we did go caution-free. You may see them try to split it up, but I just believe, and I'll share some trends with you a little bit later on in the race.
Okay. There's Martin. He is okay after a hard hit there. He'll take the mandatory trip to the care center and get checked out. The defending champion of this race will not be around to see the finish. Corey LaJoie, the only other car out of the race. That happened back at lap 47. There's the AMR safety team coming quickly to the driver's aid.
It's a big hit. Like you said, Clint, these cars are tough, and the whole front is folded in.
Well, it just doesn't showcase it like it used to. With that old car, that'd have been a firewall deep impact.
Mine started on fire and ran down the front straightaway.
April 16th, the USFL is coming. And their season kicks off with an historic inaugural game. General Stallions, New Jersey against Birmingham in prime time on Fox and NBC.
Well, what are you, Mike? You a general or you going to be a stallion?
Well, I'm from Connecticut. I guess I'm a general.
I like stallions. They run fast.
I like both.
Well, we'll be out here next January.
We can't pull for both, Danica. It's a game. Somebody has to win.
I thought it was getting personal.
Looks like pit road may stay closed. Speaking of winners, 87 people went 6 for 6 playing Fox Bet Super 6. They split $10,000 of Clint's money pending verification of eligibility.
Now we're talking. Look at that. Does not listen. I think I should have worn one of those most of my life.
What?
As both the director and producer in my ears saying they agree with that.
Look underneath. It says, or follow directions.
How about that too there, boys?
That's you, Boyer.
I need one of those shirts. But 87 winners splitting at, $10,000. Last week there was 300 or so. Man, the business is picking up for them. They're going to be able to buy dinner tonight. Huh? All about getting on a free app and answering some questions.
I love it.
Dig it. Decisions. Are we going to gamble, Larry? Or are you going to take forward? What are you going to do?
Pit road's open.
I'm going to tie you in there until I get these 4 tires on you.
I'm going 4
Fuel is
tires,
the
full
biggest
of fuel. Give me all the options.
Chase Elliott, Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney, Kevin Harvick, and Kyle Larson lead them on to pit road. Jamie?
Kevin Harvick comes down pit road in second gear. He said it feels like the left rear was a little bit low on air pressure. They're going to leave it alone for now. They're going to leave the right side air pressure alone as well, but they're going to go back on that wedge adjustment they made on the last stop. It just wasn't helping. Car felt weird, so they're still working on that. 4 has had good speed. They just need a little bit more. Regan?
Tyler Reddick continuing that trend of having speed every week. The team doing a nice job with that race car as well, getting it better as the race goes on. Wants to free it up just a little bit more. Chase Elliott, that race car keeps building neutral for him, which is a good thing. That's exactly what he wants it to do. And the 12 car, Brian Blaney, not sure if it was traffic or conditions on the track, but that race car was getting too tight for him.
3 wide, race off pit road. Elliott's going to win that one. Briscoe picks up 4 spots, and Ross Chastain picks up 4. Wow.
Is that on speed or 2 tires?
Stop. Here's another look at it. That's close. Beautiful day in the Arizona desert. Great day for a race. Whether you're enjoying it on your phone or your tablet or just swinging in the hammock there.
That looks nice.
Here's Jamie.
Martin Truex Jr., the reason for the caution, cut a right front into the wall pretty hard. You've been checked and released, but any indication there, Martin?
No, not at all. We'd been getting really loose all day on the longer runs, so I was just out there trying to take care of it there. We gained a few spots on the restart and was just trying to take care of the rear tires. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm coming off a 2 there. I'm kind of neutral free, and then all of a sudden it's just like shot straight in the fence. So must have cut a right front down running up there in the glue or something.
Thank you. Glad you're okay.
Now Ryan Blaney will restart 9th. What happened, Regan?
Mike so quick all day long, but had a little bit of issue on pit road. The right rear tire, he had a problem with the nut actually falling out of the gun that puts it back onto the tire. So he's going to have to work hard here at the end of this race to get back up front.
You saw it fall out too. He had to reach up. It was right off the bat. It fell out and he had to reach over, and I think he has another one on him. You saw him reach up and grab it and has to load it into the gun. Just that little bit of time, made all that difference.
We're talking 10-second pit stops here, 11-second pit stops.
But it happened so fast you had to really dive into it and know what happened to even see it.
Great stop for Chase Briscoe. He will restart 2nd. Likewise, Ross Chastain, who is 3rd. Chase Elliott, the leader. Harvick 4th. Then Dillon, Byron, Larson, and Bowman. Here we go.
Man, it's so cool here to be able to go 4, 5, 6 wide on the front straightaway. Chase Briscoe got a great start.
Sure did.
Maybe one of the best starts I've seen yet. He just cleared him. Oh.
Whoa.
Yeah, yeah.
Get up, get up.
William Byron had his hands full in the middle of 1 and 2.
But I want to go back to all right. Yes, Briscoe got a good restart. He's there because his team gained 4 spots on pit road. Thank you very much, boys. I appreciate it. Now let me go do my job. I'm going to get a good restart and put this 14 car out front.
I think that's called teamwork.
I like that.
He's out there in clean air while the battle is back at 5th. William Byron.
William Byron was stuck on the bottom the last lap around, had his hands full. Looks like now he's like, I don't think I'm going to run the bottom again. Let's run the top. That's a bit better up there.
His teammate Alex Bowman slots in right behind his battle with Joey Logano and Austin Dillon.
Looking about 3 wide with William Byron now.
Tight with you.
All right, look at it. You got Denny Hamlin. He's, at the back end of this cluster. I wonder if this will be a better run for him. Maybe, again, like the boys have been saying, you make one good stop and you go from 20th to 5th. So Denny needs that.
Well, you now have Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, Kurt Busch, and Eric Almirola all in one very tight pack.
Still have the 10 out there with him. 3 lanes out to him, outside. Outside.
And significantly, Blaney has not gained a position since the restart.
Him and Tyler Reddick are going at it side by side. Getting stopped up by Alex Bowman, it looks like. It's all about picking the right lane.
Blaney outside of Bowman, and that's for 9th.
I don't know if I'm a betting woman. I'm saying that the top is probably the safest bet when it comes to the line to run. What do you think, Clint?
Well, it certainly is, but you got to be able to run that bottom and be good out on the bottom. And one car that I saw had a really good restart and capitalized on these conversations we're talking about is that 22 of Joey Logano. Really haven't heard much out of him, and man, I tell you what, after that restart, Briscoe and Joey Logano, check it out.
Where'd he come from?
And look at this cat, Ross Chastain. Jamie?
What an impressive a couple of weeks for Ross Chastain. Last week at Vegas, got the first ever stage win for Trackhouse, led 83 laps, finished third. Now this week, they had a very productive practice, a fast race car, didn't have to adjust on it much. So far today, the car has been good, and the team on pit road getting it done. Regan.
Big issues for Kyle Larson right now. Believes this race car is having an engine problem. Right now, the team has got him cycling through the pages on the dashboard, looking at all the information he can, but it doesn't sound good for the 5.
And last time by here at turn 4, he was right down on the apron, not for the dog leg, but in the middle of turn 4 as he paged through there, trying to sort things out.
He's definitely down the cylinder. You can see all the momentum that he loses down the straightaway where he comes off the corner right there, dipping to the bottom, and everybody motoring down the straightaway better than him. Hold your own in the middle. I remember when you lose a cylinder like that, it's almost like you picked up speed in the corners.
Built-in traction control, Clint.
Yeah, that's right. You sure struggle down the straightaways.
Oh, yeah. He's just falling way off now.
I think he's going to pit.
Yeah.
See if we can address it.
Pitting this time right here. Pitting this time.
Kyle Larson comes to pit road while Chase Briscoe holds a 1-second lead on Chase Elliott and Kevin Harvick. Our statman Russell reminds me that a car numbered 14 has not been to victory lane in a cup race at Phoenix.
What?
Chase Briscoe trying to be the first.
Clint?
And I struggled here with the SHR car. I really did. We always did, and it was nothing more frustrating than Kevin Harvick, you know, always so good here, and I just couldn't figure it out. And we heard Bowman talk about, you know, trying to match what his teammates did. I mean, I did that. Just never could find good grip here and a good handle. Had some time in the sun, but never enough, never long enough.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that. We talked about earlier, you know, Jamie asked, well, could you drive like your teammate or even a setup like your teammate? And it's, you know, what'd you find?
Yeah, no, I couldn't find it. I never did my own thing. Speak a different language, and that's what was fun for me, having so many different teammates and everything else, is you hear all the different ways people describe cars. We're riding with Kurt Busch, and I'll never forget him talking about the left front's not talking to the right front, and I'm like, what are you talking about? But everybody's different.
All right, Bubba Wallace has made an unscheduled pit stop for tires. And Regan, what's up with Kyle Larson?
Well, the word from crew chief Cliff Daniels to Kyle was, we are done. Drive it to the garage. Broken valve spring. So tough end to Kyle Larson's day.
Bubba Wallace back out on track, but now 2 laps back.
That's where that win comes in handy. A big win in California. You don't have to worry about playoffs, points, and stuff like that. Still racing for wins. Put it in a box. Let's head to Atlanta. So that's the question. Do you get nervous when your teammate, you look over and hey, the 5 car's having trouble? Don't you think for a second the 48, the 9, all of them didn't notice that, and the spotters and everybody else communicating that? So maybe mindful of your shifts, down shifts, don't over rev that car. I'm not saying that he did, but those are all things that creep into your mind when you start seeing a teammate having trouble.
Yeah. But I think that you see it from not only just like a team perspective, but a manufacturer perspective.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point, too. Chevy. It's not just your teammate.
No, it's not just your teammate.
And mind you, there's a lot of Chevys out there that have that same engine under the hood as him.
On the Ford side, Blaney and Logano, 5th place changing hands there. And speaking of teammates, Tyler Reddick and Austin Dillon.
A little loose off that bottom. You know, again, downshifting coming off the corner in the RPM range that you do when you run on the bottom. Car slick.
That almost looked like William Byron into Tyler Reddick a couple of races ago. Yikes. 67 laps to go in Phoenix. We'll take you Fox side by side. 61 laps to go. As you saw, Ty Dillon's been in the wall but continues, and Chase Briscoe continues to hold a lead of almost a second on Chase Elliott. Watch the 42.
Yeah, I think you undersold that a little bit, Mike. He hit the wall pretty hard right there. That's significant contact, not once, not twice, probably about 3 times, swapping from the right rear to the right front. Be interesting to see. Again, goes back to this car. Old days, that would have for sure been a flat tire here in a lap or 2.
We stay green. Watching the battle for 7th. Jamie's with one of Byron's teammates.
Broken valve spring, as Regan reported for Kyle Larson, so he is out. Any indication there, Kyle, anything that you did to lead to that you know of?
I don't know. I felt it 4 or 5 laps before it was just getting worse. But yeah, I hate that our Valvoline Chevy was pretty good. I thought we were 4th or 5th place car. Just was hoping to be a little bit better than that, but unfortunately the valve spring broke, or a valve spring broke. So hate that, but you know, everybody at the Hendrick Automotive or Hendrick Engine Shop is some of the smartest people out there. So I know they'll address the issue that seems like we've had here these last couple weeks with some of the engines, and we'll come back strong, reliable. So the good thing is we have fast cars, fast engines, and great drivers driving these Chevys. So we'll get some more wins here.
Thanks, Kyle.
Well, he won't get to win today, but he did fly over to California and get him a Sprint Car World Outlaw win last night. Pretty crazy, all the racing that kid does. Bummed out today, victory lane last night. I was at a taco truck at like midnight or something.
You think that was tacos?
Flew clear over there. What'd you win? $400 in a taco. Are you sure that was a worthwhile cause?
He probably spent it all for, I don't know if it was tacos. There was some pictures of food on that food truck, but he probably spent it all on
He's going to be eating
prize
tacos
food.
again. You better save some of that more about I ain't making none today.
Now, not just Kyle Larson, but did I see on social media that both Kyle Busch and his son Brexton captured checkered flags in doing a little night racing this weekend?
Sure did. Man, I just saw Harrison Burton really sideways, crossed up down here in 3 and 4. He has had his hands full all day long. That 21 car.
Austin Dillon 9th, Alex Bowman 10th. So here's what Harrison Burton has been dealing with today.
Woo. Oh, you see the frustration too. That is super loose right there. Can't put the throttle down. And hey, I hear you, Harrison. It doesn't look fun. I'm glad I'm up here, not in that car. Need some adjustments.
That tells me the adjustments aren't working, is what that tells me, because we just had stops and it's not better.
Been there and done that at this place. Can be very frustrating if you don't have a good balance on your car. Loose for him, for sure.
Burton is 28th.
These guys are still going at it.
7th and 8th. Reddick and Byron.
William Byron in that 24 car was really loose taking off. You know, he lost some spots, was tank swapping in both ends, but it seems like on these long runs it's coming into his own, finally finding some speed, but he's going to let Tyler Reddick go. Hey, thank you, William.
So rounding out our top 10 is last week's winner, Alex Bowman. And as we teased yesterday, he and Kyle Busch have a t-shirt war going on.
He's just a hack. He's just an absolute hack. You know, he's just terrible.
The same guy that backs into every win.
So the Martinsville t-shirt, with the money, Alex bought 22 Martinsville grandfather clocks for his entire team and gave the rest to animal shelters. With this latest t-shirt, courtesy of Kyle Busch's rant.
That's a lot of t-shirts.
18% off. That's Kyle's car number. Kyle Busch responded on his website. He's put t-shirts 48% off. That's Bowman's car number.
Well, I'm going to tell you, got the last laugh of that joke. Alex Bowman went home with a check. Look at this.
He and Kyle Busch cleared the air this week.
Sure
and
they did.
all is good between the two. He knew Kyle was
battle
just
for the
frustrated.
lead here, Mike.
Here's Chase Elliott.
A little more to the right front this run. Not a bad thing. If I had got the lead, it would probably have been good. Yeah, copy. Keep the pressure on him. He's coming to you now.
Is that the right front, he said?
I think so, and it's so important as you're catching him, you know you're going to start picking up his dirty air and get tighter. If you're catching him and you're free, it's important not to get to him. You kind of get stalled out at matching his speed. If you don't pass him and get door to door with him early, as in right as soon as you catch him, for whatever reason you stall out, next thing you know you're using more brake, next thing you know you're too tight, you've oversmoked the front tires. I think that's the conversation they were talking about.
Sounds like there's some strategy going on.
Well, it's just trying to figure out how to get around him.
Yeah.
And then the other part of that is you know, you look in front of them, not a lot of lap traffic. If I'm Chase Elliott, I'm waiting for those two cars. You saw him up there ahead. I'm looking for those two cars as an opportunity. Might save my stuff here, cool those tires down, and be ready when we catch them lap traffic.
I was just going to ask you that, Clint. I was going to ask, if you're in this position, wide open space, the two of you are running away, do you push now, or do you push just enough to kind of wait till the end to see if his car falls off more than yours?
Well, I'm going to push as hard as I can, obviously, just like always, and get to him and try to make the pass. If I can't, I don't want to just sit there in his wake and overcook those front tires when I have an opportunity like those lap traffic coming.
Yeah, I've been watching this battle back there for third. Kevin Harvick in that 4 car. Ross Chastain ran Kevin down. Now, once Ross got there, they kind of plateaued out as far as lap times, but Ross is right there on the back of that 4 car.
You can't say enough about the job that Trackhouse bunch has done. I mean, they're delivering each week, week in and week out, having cars up front. They've kind of taken a turn. The man, I'm telling you, both him and Denny has been fast.
Regan?
Mike, you see Ryan Blaney leveled out in that 5th position after falling back on that last round of pit stops. Just reported to his team a few laps ago, the steering wheel is shaking really bad in that race car all of a sudden. Got something going on with the steering in it, not happy with it, and very tight right now.
Tough to feel it.
I feel like
steering wheel's shaking, the front tires don't work.
I would say that's under braking in the same situation that we heard earlier. Just, you know, on these long runs, you start using less and less brake because you're not in traffic and those things. They cool off and they start shaking.
You start hearing noises, ghosts, things like that?
Only if you're the 14 of Chase Briscoe right now.
Yeah, right. Because he's the leader by 0.6 of a second.
Pretty big deal for that kid and his team, SHR, if they could pull this win off today. Be a big win for their camp and Ford in general. And him, man.
And him, he's beating Harvick right now.
Came in as a rookie driver
here
last year and got beat up pretty bad. Didn't get the results they wanted. They've been strong this year and working together, and honestly, probably been the class of the field at the SHR. I know that 10 car gets a better finish at the end, but that 14, he's been up front a lot here this year.
Now, Jamie McMurray's been watching the data on both these lead cars. And didn't we hear Briscoe was going to shift every lap, every corner? And is he still doing that?
Yeah, Mike, it's been really interesting. We have not been seeing Chase Briscoe shift. But you guys talked about the issue with Kyle Larson and the engines that he uses, and are the other teams going to be concerned? Chase Elliott is not concerned. He has been shifting every single lap, not worried about the revs that you turn with shifting, the heat that it builds in the rear gear or the engine. Chase Elliott is on kill right now.
One thing that I am seeing with the 14 of Chase Briscoe, in particular down there in 1 and 2, is he's running higher, right up against the wall, risking it pretty good versus the 9 car. I've noticed the 9 car has started to inch up there a little bit, but man, you are flirting with disaster. Just this much too much getting into that corner, you're going to slide up being the wall, and the rest is history.
The last win for Stuart Haas, Eric Almirola, last July at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. So here's this Indiana boy out front, Tony Stewart, his boyhood hero. He had the Tony Stewart jammies, then he had the Tony Stewart, video game. He had all the merch, all the everything. He was 100% Tony Stewart. Now he's got the Tony Stewart boss and Tony's car and number. He's got lap traffic ahead and a mirror full of Chase Elliott.
I think he's downshifting down there. Do you see how he kind of squirted across the center right there and picked up the throttle? I think that's all because of being able to have that reaction being in fourth gear in the middle of the corner.
Well, he's obviously comfortable shifting, so it wouldn't surprise me if the speed's dropping off. They're running high 28s.
Here comes that lap traffic I was talking about. And look, now the 9's on there. He was timing this right, got to the lap traffic. This is his opportunity to try to push the envelope and get a pass made. Well, there went the opportunity. But nonetheless, you could see how he was almost just poised and waiting for that to come to fruition, and that's exactly what happened.
Don't worry, there'll be more. They're getting into all the lap traffic. There'll be more opportunities to use people as a pin to pick the right lane.
Well, Larry Mack, at the last caution, you were trying to sell me on going 90 laps on this final tank of fuel. What are you thinking now?
Yeah, Mike, I still do not see these leaders pitting because we've got 38 laps to go, and really the pace is only about a second a lap off from their fastest lap. So I do not, long as they're full, and we saw for sure like Chase Elliott, they got that 9 car full. I see if we go caution free, we run it out to the end.
All right. Well, you'll see it all as we go Fox side by side. Chase Briscoe battling Chase Elliott. Is it the Chase and Chase show? 37 laps to go. We'll take you Fox side by side.
Race fans, Jesse Punch here live once again from Phoenix Raceway. The laps are quickly ticking down, and as you watch Stewart-Haas driver Chase Briscoe fight for his potential first win here today, keep an eye on another Stewart-Haas driver there looking to break into the top 10. That's Eric Almirola driving that 10 car, currently running 11th. If he can gain one more position before that checkered flag waves, he will be the only driver to finish in the top 10 all 4 races so far this season. An incredibly consistent start to the season for Almirola, who plans on retiring from full-time competition at the end of this year. Enjoy these last couple laps, race fans. Things are about to get exciting.
.32 laps to go in Phoenix. Here's your aerial coverage of the leaders provided by Goodyear. Anything can happen as long as you have the drive. Goodyear, more driven. Chase Briscoe, Chase Elliott, 0.4 of a second apart. That's what it looks like.
And I take it all back to the line that you just saw Chase Briscoe run versus the 9 of Chase Elliott behind him, down in 1 and 2. That 14 car is way up by the wall right in the middle of the corner. And the 9 can't do that. He can't run right into the wake of him. He's got to go where he doesn't, and it's just forcing his hand to run where he doesn't want to be.
So Jamie Mack, who's shifting and who isn't?
Yeah, we've been watching, and Chase Elliott still shifting on both ends of the racetrack. Chase Briscoe, however, has started shifting in turns 3 and 4, the tighter end of the track, maybe because he's running just a little bit lower, as you see right there. But it just seems to me that Briscoe is able to control the race, not having to drive his car quite as hard. I think this all comes down to lap traffic and who's able to manage that. And it always seems like the car behind has a little bit of an advantage in lap traffic.
So there's telemetry in for Briscoe. And Larry, I've got to ask, downshifting, what effect does that have on gas mileage since we're going to be close?
Yeah, Mike, there's no doubt shifting, whenever you're not in high gear, you are using more fuel. And I'm looking at my fuel predictor right now, and the pattern or trend I'm seeing, the Ford count, which would include Chase Briscoe, include Kevin Harvick, Ryan Blaney, they seem to be closer on fuel than the Chevrolet camp right now.
Oh.
It's interesting. And I mean, I'm talking right on the number of making it to the end of this thing.
So here's Chase Elliott's telemetry. A lot of brake into the corner.
I feel like Chase Elliott really ran hard on that opportunity to lap traffic to try to get on him, and maybe, you know, overran his car a little bit, got those tires hot, trying to cool them off right here, riding a little bit.
I don't know if I see Chase Elliott.
Wreck ahead on the inside wall. Stay
This changes
43's
everything.
around.
Eric Jones has developed a penchant for late race cautions. It was with 2 laps to go last week. And here, tire down, heavy
Lots of
damage
tire
right
down.
front. Damage to the front splitter. He's going to have to limp it back.
Got loose, got on the throttle, ran out of road. That's a lot of tire down. He didn't make that hard an impact to the inside wall. Corners hit the wall, but
These tires we've just seen, you know, sliding the least little bit. They're really, they must be pretty thin, it tells me, because they don't slide long, and they're flattened down. But I tell you what, it's promising that this guy's driving a car back. I love what I'm
and how they were coming apart at Vegas last weekend.
But
you know what, guys? This could be the make or break stop. Regardless if we have more cautions or not, this might be your last trip to pit road. Think about November. I know Kyle Larson is out of the race. That pit stop is what won him the race and the championship.
Well, I don't know about making it yet, but it can break you. No mistakes. We've seen it all day long. We talked about it in pre-race, minimizing mistakes. The 11 car up front had mistakes. The 12 car has been the car to beat all day long, made a mistake in pit road, did at least a little bit of bobble. Do not have a mistake right here.
Eric Jones makes it back to pit road. Justin Haley will be the free pass car. And before the pits open, catching up from last week, Rick Hendrick pledged $200,000 for relief in the Ukraine, plus money for each lap his drivers led last week. That totaled $302,000. This week, Roger Penske has pledged $1 million to World Kitchen for Ukraine relief. Tremendous gestures. Jamie?
Kevin Harvick hopes to get his first top 5 or even first win of the season, but he said, I need to turn better. That's the main focus. They'll put some tires on it. Meanwhile, the one of Ross Chastain said he just couldn't take off on that last restart. Tight the whole run. 4 tires here to help him. Regan.
Well, Chase Briscoe, very calm in that race car, said we've had the best pit crew all day long. No big deal right here. Doesn't want any changes to that race car. Happy with it. Chase Elliott just a little bit too tight, especially in turn 2. He needs it to turn better to win the race.
Chase Briscoe will lead them off pit road.
9 car had trouble. That's that mistake. I don't know what it was, but 4 tires lost there. Blaney picking up one, taking advantage of that trouble. And Harvick going to match his teammate. A duel for the Stewart-Haas cars.
As you race off pit road. Chase Briscoe's team justifiably gets to celebrate that one. They put it in the driver's hands.
They certainly have. And he took the answered the call. They gave him a good stop last time. He went out and led all the laps. Put him in position here. Now he's got to fend off his teammate. Ooh, mano a mano.
Eric Jones was able to make repairs and get back out on track. So we get another restart, and they have been wild today. Right from the start of the race, that's Kyle Busch way down on the apron, testing it early. Next one, Logano and Reddick down there, and then everybody decides to go to the inside. That's what 7 wide looks like there. And when you know you've got to get down to 2 or maybe 3 wide exiting that corner, that's a leap of faith down there.
It's a good thing there's a lot of room. As in 160 feet of room,
yeah.
I think we clarified at the beginning.
But it's also down there, and I watched Kevin Harvick very close that last stop, and I say this because it could happen again. He didn't go clear down there. He let those guys have it down there, and why I think he did that is so he could have the track position where he wanted to be on the racetrack when they get to the corner. More importantly, got off of 2. William Byron was way down on the bottom on the apron, but he couldn't get off the corner, enabling Kevin Harvick to drive off.
There is definitely a different feel when you're approaching the corner from a completely different trajectory.
All right, we don't talk about it much. I'm talking it's time to go, time to pick. What are you going to do if you're the leader here? Let's, Jamie McMurray, you're on here. Chase Briscoe is the leader. Is he going to take the outside or the inside?
Listen, history tells us you want to take the outside, but based on watching the race today, I'm taking the inside. I'm cutting as much of the dog leg off as I can. I think that the resin they put on the outside has started to wear off, Clint. The inside lane's going to win this restart.
You know, it's interesting you say that. I agree with that, but the conversation there is with Chase Briscoe. He has shown he likes that outside, especially in 1 and 2. He wants to run higher than most. He's finding grip and making success up there. If he gives that away and Kevin Harvick can get to his outside, I think Kevin Harvick could win this race.
Well, here's a quick look at the progressive race summary with 22 laps to go. 6 different leaders have swapped the lead back and forth 15 times. We have 20 cars on the lead lap, 7 caution flags. Bunch of wave arounds here.
Let's see what they choose. Here it is.
Talk about hungry hounds. Here's Chase Briscoe looking for his first career win, and Kevin Harvick on a 46 race winless streak. And we are just hearing that Kyle Busch was too fast entering pit road.
Man.
Going to the doghouse.
From 10th, he will restart in the back.
Not a good time for that. I don't think they didn't choose that lap.
Here it comes.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. It's right here. Man, I'm so used to seeing tracks backwards. Gets me every time.
Briscoe inside, Harvick outside. Chastain inside, Blaney outside.
I think a big part of this conversation is what's behind you. You call it help, but it's really not now. No. It's any man's game. You're going to see these guys fan out. Ross Chastain, you know he's going to be aggressive. He wants to get this Trackhouse bunch in victory lane. Get them tires warmed up. You can see both of them scrubbing it very hard.
When have we not seen teammates up front on the final restart of a race?
I think that all comes down to the parity that we've been talking about. It makes sense, right? Those guys have worked well together. They probably are setups are very close. They've worked on tire pressures, everything all race long. There's a reason why those 2 cars are up front. They're prepared almost identical.
Tony Stewart and Gene Haas have the front row here with Chase Briscoe and Kevin Harvick. It'll be 20 laps to go when they get the restart green.
Kevin certainly got to his outside.
Ross Chastain got an awesome run down the front straightaway, dove in the middle into 1.
And Chase Briscoe did not lift in the middle of the corner. He knew he had to get established, and that's exactly what he did.
Chase Briscoe with a power move off turn 2, way high up the racetrack. He and Chastain will battle.
How about it? Got a race now. Check it out. Come on, Chastain. I tell you what, it's how do you not root for the kid?
I agree.
I root for the race, and I love what these late restarts do. Still on his outside.
So close. Just grabbing all the throttle they can to get the best run off.
And that brings Tyler Reddick and Kevin Harvick right to them.
That Tyler Reddick's car really took off. Tells me maybe they pumped the pressures up. Got him something that he hasn't had.
Downtown for Chastain.
Can't say enough about the job that Chase Briscoe did. Chastain was underneath of him, didn't have much room on the outside, and powered through, held his throttle and held his ground and held that lead.
3 young guns break away, looking for their first career win, all 3 of them. Kevin Harvick on that long winless streak. Ryan Blaney trying to turn his season around. What a battle we've got on our hands.
Oh, he's hitting them. Ross Chastain definitely got into Reddick just a little bit. Said, hi, I'm here.
He's pushing him, and it's time to push.
Maybe Kevin Harvick, with all of his experience, is just going, why don't you kids just figure it out? And I'll pick up the scraps when you get a little too far. Might be about all he's got right now. Those cars are fast.
How many career wins in the top 5? 65.
No.
The top 3 have none.
Almirola and Hamlin had some contact last time by. Racing for 10th place. Ooh.
Oof. Interesting.
I
don't know if
he thought he was clear, thought he could get behind him. Not clear.
Briscoe and Reddick have just run their personal best laps of the race.
You see the speed that Chase Briscoe's carrying in the corner. You see the car just dive how hard he's getting into the corner and hitting the brake.
Johnny Klossmeyer's got that thing dialed in. I mean, he has short run speed, he has long run speed, and he's doing a good job running the right line. Very fast in these late stages of the race. And I think all the momentum, again, is coming from that high line. He's got it figured out to run a little bit higher in 1 and 2 than everybody else.
And his pit crew did a great job to keep him out front under that caution flag and help preserve that lead.
He better be thanking him if he wins this race. They were a big part of that, but it's a team effort. We know that. We've seen that time and time again.
Well, it was his right foot in the middle of turns 1 and 2 that got Chase Briscoe the lead back on that restart. Amazing move. He just powered down.
Now, you asked me earlier, and I answered it. Do you hear things? Them gremlins in the race car. This is where you really hear them. There is a knot in both of those guys' stomach.
Johnny Klossmeyer, he's a good guy. He worked on my car back in the day, and he was always really so smart. I worked with Tony Gibson for a long time. Learned a lot from him, but he's a smart guy in and of himself.
Harvick starting to make some inroads on 3rd place. Chastain.
Doing the 1 still. Clear up behind him if you need it.
Just tough to get on the throttle. You know, you're running that shorter distance. You're asking a lot more of the tires to handle that angle with all the throttle, and it just looked like Kevin couldn't really get to the throttle like he wanted to.
So no change there. Up front, Johnny Klossmeyer, crew chief, looking for his 3rd different Cup win, and it would be with 3 different drivers.
Jamie Mack, tell me, I mean, catching this cat and then passing him was 2 different conversations. We've been hearing you talk about shifting. You're able to see who's shifting, who's not all day long. Is that something you can do to maybe capitalize on a pass for the win here?
Yeah, and it appears that Tyler Reddick is going to get to Briscoe, but I just think passing him is going to be difficult. You've pointed out he's running that high line, and if you can get to someone's outside, it's obviously easier to pass him. I would say Tyler Reddick, though, very fair driver, most likely will not move Chase Briscoe.
Never mind, Jamie. There's a caution. Chase Elliott. Oh, now it picks up. That is not what Chase Briscoe wanted to see. I hear you, Johnny.
I hear you, too. That's exactly what they're sitting on the pit stand, hoping will not happen.
But now I got a decision to make. If you're Johnny, Larry, I'm going to put it in your hands. What do you do for my driver? This guy is leading the charge, running the right line, doing everything on restarts, everything right. How do you keep me in this position to win this race?
No way you're coming to pit road. You only have 11 laps on your tires, and we're going to go back racing probably with only about 3 or 4 to go.
Chase Elliott just got loose, just spun out. Kind of all by himself, come up off the corner under the throttle. Thing was a little bit light on his feet, and away it went.
I think you're right, Larry. I like that call. I think that, you know, as a driver, you like to have fresh tires, and especially at this point in time, you'd pump up the pressures. But I think that it's been proven since the very beginning with the 22 at the very beginning, taking 2 tires and holding strong. Like, tires are not as big of a deal this weekend.
Early in the race, we had a restart where 4 cars did not pit and stayed out. I think it's going to come down a lot to how many drivers come to pit road and how many stay out there without new tires. Can you get through all that in the limited number of laps that are going to remain? It's only going to be 3 or 4.
No.
It's in your hands. You got to do a good job. You got to get these tires cleaned up, get a good restart, and find that protect.
Larry.
Yeah, I just think with 20 drivers on the lead lap and with only 11 laps on these tires, you know there's going to be several that stay out, because even if those leaders come, I'm going to do opposite what that leader does. I'm going to stay out. You follow the leader, you know what? You'll follow the leader.
That's right.
Well, pit road is open, and nobody came.
The biggest question that I have, if I'm Chase Briscoe, am I going to take that outside? You know, now I'm on older tires. A little bit different conversation. You heard Jamie McMurray talk about him taking the bottom and the significance of that. I had my teammate get to my outside. I had to be very aggressive and shoot across the middle. It worked, but will it work on used tires? That's really the conversation that I'm really looking forward to and seeing how he picks to be on this front row.
I think it will. I haven't seen, I think as the time goes too, it's probably even less of a big deal. It seems like people are able to still hold strong with tires. I think do the same thing you just did.
He cannot let somebody come off of 2 on the outside.
7 drivers came to pit road. Among those on the lead lap, 13 stayed out. Now next Sunday on Fox, the NASCAR Cup Series heads to Atlanta, where it's a whole new ball game. It's still a 1.5 miles, but now there's new pavement and a progressive banking. Who can tame the new asphalt and a new package? The Daytona Talladega Super Speedway setup for these cars.
So Jeff Gordon in the booth joining us again, and I can't wait for that. You said it. I think you're going to see a lot of passing. I think you're going to see maybe some drafting and a lot of blocking, just like you did in Daytona. Hopefully it goes better than it did down there.
It's not the old Atlanta anymore, that's for sure. The final green flag run has been 4 or less laps in every race thus far this season.
That's why it's so exciting.
All right, so who will join Ross Chastain in cutting the dogleg and taking the shortest route from turn 4 to turn 1?
I think about everybody.
Yes.
Well,
the answer is yes.
Yes.
Blaney, everybody. The biggest thing is you saw Chastain get very aggressive with how he was pushing, how he's doing. It's time to throw that all out the window. You're going for the win. You're going to have to rough him up if you're going to win, I think. He's going to put you in a situation where he's going to block your run, and you're going to have to do something to get up there and man, establish some some track position.
So Briscoe and Chastain are among those who've chosen the inside as we get ready to go.
You can see all those, but look at this. This is what I like. You see all those people, packed house, are going to watch every single line you're talking about right there. It's going to be in their face. That's why they changed this track around, the configuration, so these people could see that, and it's going to be right there in their lap.
So we will restart with 3 laps to go. They will choose this time. 21 lead lap cars now.
Briscoe's, he's going to take the bottom.
He and Chastain and Blaney.
He's got to block 2 guys that have never won a race. That's the top 3 guys right there that have never won a race. This is as wild as you're going to see, folks.
Here's some Tyler Reddick audio.
You just think about what you got to do here and just work your freaking off. This is our freaking race, so we're going to go out there and freaking get it.
A little motivation.
As if he needed any.
Yeah.
Right?
Now again, let's revisit this. All he has to do is not be the first guy that fires. If Chase Briscoe spins the tires underneath of him, fair game.
Right. They'll come to the Geico restart zone, and as long as Briscoe, who in NASCAR parlance is the control car as the leader, as long as he hits the gas first, it's a fair restart.
I'm looking for Chastain, though. How long is he going to push him? I think you'll see him looking to the inside immediately.
Here we go. Briscoe's on it.
Didn't happen.
Nope. Everybody came down.
Blocking, but Reddick's to his outside. He's going to shoot across there and do a slide. Get track position. That car is just too strong.
3 wide for second.
He's hooked up. He even cut it off the corner.
No problem. Easy
barreling
peasy.
in.
Good job, Chase Briscoe.
Chastain battling for second and takes it from Reddick. 2 to go.
Johnny likes it. Likes what he sees there. The old legs are pumping now.
2 to go here. 5-3.
They are wadded up from 4th on back. Briscoe into turn 3 with a 5-car length lead. Reddick looking outside Chastain. 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank.
That's a pretty comfortable rear view mirror, or digital rear view mirror, looking out the back for Chase Briscoe. He's got plenty of room. He doesn't need to overdrive it. He can be smart. Bring it home.
Into turn 3 for the final time. Driving for his boyhood idol, Tony Stewart. Chase Briscoe becomes the 200th winner in the history of the NASCAR Cup Series. And Austin Dillon is against the wall between turns 3 and 4 after contact on the final lap.
Yeah, Daniel Suarez really dove it off in there. Again, I didn't see the rest of the story, but he dove it off in there and hit Austin Dillon in the left rear very hard. There was nothing for Austin Dillon to do.
Tyler Reddick giving Chase Briscoe a thumbs up. It's cool to see.
First career win in his 40th start. A congrats from Eric Almirola, whose consecutive top 10 streak ends today. And Kevin Harvick has tied Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt on NASCAR's all-time list of consecutive top 10 finishes at one racetrack with 18.
Cool, another new winner.
Hey, and I don't think it's the last new winner you're going to see. I mean, he fended off 2 guys that haven't won a race.
Oh, that's pretty sporty.
Whoa!
Hang on.
Hold on to it.
That tractor's sexy. Austin Dillon has climbed from his car. He is okay as Chase Briscoe celebrates on the start-finish line.
Given the guy that shifted all day, he found reverse pretty easily to get himself out of that.
Hey, it tells me a lot about that sequential shifter. You wouldn't have done that in the old car. You'd have shelled every gear out of it in reverse. This kid is going to be pumped.
A big day for Stuart Haas here, and for Tony Stewart's drag racing team had a big day as well. Wow. Never forget your first one, do you?
Ever. Sure don't. And hey, man, he worked for it. You know, I know all these guys, obviously, they were all my crew guys, JD right there, JD Fry, all these boys. Taco, man, I'll tell you, this is a big win for them guys. I'm happy for them. Happy for him.
We were talking about SHR and just where they were at as a strength of a team, and I think we saw them show up today.
And truly a team victory. The pit crew got it done with that final stop that allowed Briscoe to hold the lead. Regan Smith.
Well, Chase Briscoe, you had to hold off a couple late race charges, caution flags, a pit stop at the end. Your pit crew doing an amazing job. You, my friend, are the 200th winner in the Cup Series.
That's unbelievable. I was crying the whole last lap. I mean, this is definitely a team win, but just I got to thank everybody that's got me to this point. 7 years ago, I was sleeping on couches, volunteering at race shops, and was literally driving home to give up. And Briggs Cunningham and Carrie Scher and Beth Cunningham gave me an opportunity, and it's led to this. So unbelievable. So blessed to be, driving at the organization of the team and the car that was my hero growing up. So to get this 14 back in victory lane, to do it with Mahindra Tractors, their first year in the sport, highpoint.com, Rush Truck Center, Ford Force Racing School, everybody that's believed in me, it's unbelievable.
You have dreamed for years, as you mentioned, of driving in your idol Tony Stewart's race car. You looked a lot like Tony Stewart out there today.
Yeah, those restarts, I mean, we were sliding guys and everything else, and I hope the race fans enjoyed the race. It was unbelievable from my point. So thank you guys for coming out. We've missed you the last 2 years with COVID and everything else. So thankful to have you guys back. Without you guys, we don't have a sport. We don't get to race and do what we do for a living. So thank you to each and every one of you. I wish my wife and baby Brooks was here. Definitely special and one that's going to be remembered forever.
Chase Briscoe gets his first career win in Phoenix.
Well, let's show you his winning move on the restart, the final restart here. A little bit of mirror driving maybe.
He just got established on Reddick. Reddick got to the outside but couldn't do anything with him, had to lift, and man, he shot across there. The car just made awesome grip. Chastain couldn't get that run materialized behind him. Really, they came off at the exact same speed, didn't have a run, and couldn't do anything with him.
Jamie's with the runner-up.
Ross Chastain, aggressive, exciting, fast. How would you sum up your day?
Like a day at the K1 track. It's that was so much fun to get to race like that at this level. Trackhouse Racing believes in me, and Advent Health and the Moose. These people, they believed in me early in the season whenever stuff wasn't going great, and if we can keep putting these together, that's so cool to race with Tyler and Chase. Yeah, I mean that's everything I've ever wanted, and my crew chief Phil Sturgeon, people don't know how good he is. His adjustments this year have been so incredible, and he gave me exactly what I needed. We just came up one spot short, but I'm so happy.
Second straight top 3 finish for Ross Chastain and this #1 team.
Well, a great day for Chastain, but his teammate, Daniel Suarez, who finished 9th today, got into it. There he is inside of the 3 of Austin Dillon.
He got in the corner. Well, he's blocking Kyle Busch. And then by the time he got off on there, you see him was loose. He was out of control and got into the 3 and ruined his day.
So Dillon, who was en route to a top 10 finish, did not get one. He'll end up last car on the lead lap, 21st, but he walked away from the car okay. Chase Briscoe, NASCAR's newest winner.
Right in front of me over there.